third quarter lead at Greenville, rallied for a 50-49 Illinois Badger Conference victory last Saturday. Let's take a look at the current weather conditions. 69 degrees at game time. The wind northwest at 7 miles per hour. A beautiful day. Not many clouds in the sky. Sunny and no precip expected here this afternoon. Rob Hill is just a gorgeous day for football, and we expect a good football game here today.
It certainly is a gorgeous day. Quincy brings in an interesting situation for the Bulldogs. The Quincy defense has given up major points during the year. 40 points. Last week they got beat 50-49 after having a big lead. And they're going to score a lot of points, and I think the key to this game is for the Drake Bulldogs to shut down their offense and for Drake to be consistent and score some points themselves.
There's the officials today. Ken Crakus from Cambridge, the referee, the umpire, Bob Locker, as you are looking at the Drake University quarterback, Roy Fletcher, who was redshirted as a freshman last year out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Only a freshman, 6 foot 193. But I'm going to tell you, Coach Ash and the rest of the coaching staff is quite high on this kid. He can throw the football. They didn't want to really use him this year. They wanted to put a little more difference between him and Jamie D'Angelo in the grades. That way they could have a veteran quarterback with Roy Fletcher and an opportunity to see some JV action. Let's take a look at the rest of the officials. Scott Helverson of Des Moines, the head linesman. Sam Newman out of Des Moines, the line judge. Jim Jagam out of West Des Moines, Bill judge. And Dwight Lighton out of Prairie City, the back judge here for today. As the Bulldogs are going to have to kick it off to start this thing off. Coach Ash wanted the ball early. If he would have won the flip, he wanted the football first.
He certainly wanted the football first. He wants to establish that running game for the Bulldogs. You know, Roy Fletcher, I think it's important to give him some downs, give him some series where it's not complicated. They run the ball. There's Coach Ash on the sidelines. He's enjoying the day and looking for a good outing by the Bulldogs.
Getting ready to kick it off as Coach Ash looks on here on the near side line. Back deep here, we're going to have to wait and see. They've had a lot of changes in their lineup here for Quincy. Back deep is going to be number 3, Horace Guthrie. He's one of the wide receivers back there. He is a backup to Novi Goodney, number 22, the wide receiver you're going to see a lot of today. A kid that is 6'4" and lost his basketball scholarship, and he's a kid that can go up in the air. Accompanying him back deep is also going to be number 84, Murphy Grant. He's also a wide receiver. Those two will be back inside their own 10-yard line. So the Bulldogs will have what little wind we have here in the first quarter to play. Here comes the kickoff for the Bulldogs. A good deep kick. And the ball is going to be returned by Murphy Grant from the 15 to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and finally brought down, but not before he gets to the 42-yard line. And Chad Briley, the man that finally had to put his shoulder blades on there, and Briley's not the one you want making the tackles back there either.
Now, Chad's back there as a safety on defense on the kickoff teams because of his speed, and he's not the person to make that tackle.
So it's going to be Quincy with the football to open up. A lot of times you're going to see a single back there and the double twins on both sides. This time they'll send twins to the left. And the man to watch is the bottom side of your screen. Number 22, Novi Gooden, 6'4", 225. First and 10 here for Quincy from their own 42-yard line. Bulldogs 4 down lineman. Long count of the line of scrimmage. Hand off to the tailback. Good size holes. He gets to the 45, 46-yard line. And that is about it on the first play from scrimmage. Up the middle. Handoff went to number 41. Is Edwards getting the call that time?
Edwards is the leading running back for the Hawks. He's ran for 512 yards on 99 carries, 5.2 yards carry, which is outstanding for any kind of college performance.
Well, they bring in the play for the far sideline. They use their wide receivers. Again, that's good and down to the bottom side of your screen, getting him defensively here for the Bulldogs. Going to be Mark Simon. He's a good one as well. He's got man-to-man coverage on him defensively. Back to pass on 2nd and 6. In trouble. Gets away from a couple of tackles and gets to the 50-yard line. Bulldogs almost could have thrown him for a big loss that time. Again, as we've seen many times this year, getting back deep into that area is Craig Ortworth, who's made a lot of big plays for the Bulldogs this year.
Craig's got 4 sacks this year. He is really the pressure person for the Bulldogs. The quarterback, Jake Ryan, does a good job for Quincy running the ball. He's a good athlete. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball, and he can create some problems for the Bulldogs.
But I think that's going to be a big question today and a big decision maker. If the Bulldogs can get pressure on him, he's not going to have the time to throw that football. 3rd down and short, call it 3rd and 2. Just underway, first quarter, no score. Out of the I formation, twins at the top side. Gooden still down to the bottom side of your screen here. On 3rd down and 2, Audibles off of the line of scrimmage. On 3rd and 2, hand off the fullback, and it's going to be close to the first down. He went off tackle that time. Off tackle to the right side, Raymond Carvis, the young freshman, 205 pounds. Might have got enough yards for that first down marker, and I don't know if they're going to bring in the change or not. Nope, going to call it 1st and 10. gets down to the 48-yard line, but he had to go off tackle to do it.
Quincy is a relatively young team. I think they've got like 13 freshmen starting. They recruited 70 freshmen this year in a rebuilding program. You're going to hear a lot of freshman names, and their fullback did a good job that time finding the yardage for a first down.
1st and 10 for the Hawks. Down to the 48-yard line of the Bulldogs. There's the quarterback, number 11 for him. Back to pass, Quincy, look, in trouble now, starts to scramble and throws it right into the dirt. There happened to be a receiver there, but I'm going to tell you, he was in trouble from the get-go that time.
Charlie Partridge, Kevin Beveridge, Todd Sauer, Craig Ortworth, the front four for the Bulldogs have got all day to put pressure on the quarterback. One of the keys from a defensive standpoint is to hurry the passer so they don't have time to throw these big, tall, powerful wide receivers.
Jake Ryan is number 11, their quarterback, by the way, for Quincy. Heading listed on our 2 Deep is 14, but there is a confusion, and he is wearing the number 11. 2nd down and 10 now for Quincy. They're going to bring twins down now for Gooden. Down to the bottom left of your screen here, way to the left side. He's almost out of the screen, and we're down to the bottom there. 2nd down and 10, and off, tailback, gets down to the 45. That's it. Gain of 3, all the Bulldogs giving. Stopping there. It's still going to bring up 3rd down and 7 here.
Matt Garvis on the tackle for Drake, and Matt's a freshman starting his 2nd game. He started last week and did an outstanding job for the Bulldogs against a tough Dayton team, and the coaches and staff are just really pleased with his development as a freshman for the Bulldogs.
3rd down and long, but it doesn't look like they're going to allow nobody Gooden too much. That time they had twins on a passing situation. Again, they're going to bring out twins. They got a linebacker coming way out on him down to the bottom side. 3rd down now, coming up, man in motion to the near side. Now they'll have to switch off to man. Back to pass. Has time, now in trouble, starts to roll. Is still in trouble, throws that one out of bounds, and the Bulldogs nail the quarterback as he rolled out over there. Did you notice what they did? They brought the man in motion. The Bulldogs a little slow defensively, bringing Greg Gerlach over from the free safety to help out over here. They almost had to have Steve Tennell, the linebacker, on one of the backs.
Yeah, Steve Tennell was lined up to jab the wide receiver, and when the back came in motion, his responsibility was to go that way too. So the Bulldogs adjusted and again had good pressure on the quarterback.
4th down upcoming, as you can see, number 15, Greg Gerlach, walking along the sidelines. Punter for them, getting ready to kick it away, should be Harris, who'll be standing at his own 42. Briley, of course, back deep. 2nd in the nation in returns here. End-over-end kick. Briley is going to have to let this one go, and that one might get in there, and it does. Barely gets into the end zone, and they're going to bring it back out to the 20-yard line. Well, the first series with Quincy not that impressive right now. The Bulldogs are going to get the ball at their own 20, and let's see what they can do with it.
You know, that play on the kick right there shows Chad Briley and how valuable he is to the Bulldogs. The ball was bouncing. Chad took time to block the first person down, which enabled the ball to get in the end zone, really saving the Bulldogs 20 yards. He's a heads-up ball player, a smart ball player for the Bulldogs.
Here comes 1st and 10. You get a good look at number 11 for the Bulldogs, Roy Fletcher at quarterback. Jamie D'Angelo, who didn't play last week, won't play this week or maybe next. Hand off to the left side as he gets up across the 20, maybe to the 21, 22-yard line. Not much running room that time for the Bulldogs in Cortez Hull.
I think we ought to look for Drake to try to establish a running game. Quincy has a lot of young players in their defensive backs, and by establishing a running game, it opens up the play action for the Bulldogs later on in the game.
Bulldogs 2nd down and 8, call it. Ball will be the deep back this time. Back to pass, Roy Fletcher, 4 ends out, looking down the middle, curl pattern, goes to Creel. That's what the Bulldogs wanted to do. They knew the second play from scrimmage would be a little curl to Jeff Creel for the 1st and 10, but they wanted to have the ball to begin with. So Rob Ash staying with his game plan. Creel on the reception that time for the Bulldogs. Gives them the 1st down. They're to the 31-yard line. Creel this year, nice job for the Bulldogs. Averaging 12 yards per reception so far this year on 1st and 10. Long count of the line of scrimmage by Fletcher. Now hand off near side. Big hole, 35-40. Hole almost breaks it as he gets to the 45-yard line. Tell you what, Cortez Hull, who's averaging 4.6. You see Rob Ash, the young freshman and looked good that time. And I'll tell you, he can put on the burners when he gets through that line.
He certainly can. And Brad Besh pulled out as the offensive guard that time, made the block on the trap play, and sprung Cortez loose down the middle.
1st and 10, Bulldogs, second one of the series to the 44-yard line. Bulldogs put Twins to the left side. Roy Fletcher and company, long count of the line of scrimmage. Got man on, second handoff to the left side, Sewing. He breaks a couple of tackles, gets to the 50, down to the 47, short of the first down by a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 1. And Donald Sewing not getting touched as he goes to the line of scrimmage. Great blocking by that offensive line.
You know, it's great blocking. Again, Brad Besh on the block. The Bulldogs, in the early parts of games, if the offensive line is playing well, which they are right now, we could be in for a big offensive game for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs got Twins out here to the right side. Now they probably bring a defensive man over out past to Diggs. And Diggs is going to get the first down, but he almost could have got some more as he gets down inside the 45. Quincy was in trouble for a moment. They didn't bring a defensive guy over in time.
No, the Drake set up in that play. It's a specific play. The coaching staff saw something from the box that showed the availability of that play, and Quincy was lucky to stop it for the short gain, but a first down.
Rob Ash looking on to the near sideline. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. He's got to be happy with what he's seen so far. All the deep back. Sewing will go to the left there. On 1st and 10 to the Quincy 45-yard line. Fletcher. Handoff, hole, big hole, left side down to the 41-yard line. It closed quickly as the linebacker came in to make the stop here for the Quincy Hawks. Number 56 making the stop that time is Pat McGuire out of the linebacker slot, but a gain of 4 to bring up 2nd and 6.
Drake offensive line is doing an outstanding job up front. Donald Sewing on the trap block that time. Another good hole and another good gain for the Bulldogs.
41-yard line, Bulldogs moving the ball down the field this time. Sewing will now be the lone back as Hull goes to the flanker spot of the right side. Back to pass. Krill coming across the middle. Got him open inside the 40. First down, 35 to the 34-yard line. Jeff Krill was wide open that time and has Quincy's linebackers backing way up. You know, it worked last week against Dayton, but I don't think they're the quality of linebackers that they saw against the Dayton Flyers last week.
Well, this is Coach Ash and his philosophy. Just watch the rest of the game. You run these short passes, you run the short pass, and then all of a sudden you have the flyer down the sideline. Let's see what happens.
Well, they got man coverage out on Krill on the far side. Roy Fletcher and company, another first down to the Quincy 35-yard line. And off right side, Cortez Hull in trouble, gets brought down for little or no gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 that time. Good stop of the Quincy defensive line.
Yes, William Wims made the tackle for Quincy, who did an outstanding job of playing off the block and making the tackle.
2nd and 10 upcoming as Briley checks into the lineup. Chad Briley averaging, get this, 22.5 yards per game. As Spike and the rest of the Bulldog youngsters look on here at the Drake Stadium. Good crowd on hand this afternoon for this football game. 2nd and 10 upcoming at the 35 of Quincy. Fletcher back to pass, has time, goes short to Sewing. He's open to the 30, down to the first down to the 24-yard line as Donald Sewing lowers his head, gets the extra yard and a half. 1st and 10, Donald Sewing and the Bulldogs, and nice job by Fletcher finding the open man.
Roy Fletcher is 4 for 4 on this game, on this series of plays on this Bulldog drive, which is just outstanding for a redshirt freshman quarterback. On top of that, Donald Sewing now has caught a pass 21 consecutive games as a Drake Bulldog.
Good point. 1st and 10, Drake. Fletcher leading them downfield. Briley and Creel split right and left. All out of the tailback slot. Fletcher, handoff, Hull up the middle, pulled the guard, 15, down to the 10, and down to the 6-yard line. Cortez Hull, the freshman, doing a nice job out of Des Moines North, as you saw him run for many years for the Polar Bears, and he's doing it for the Bulldogs here this afternoon.
An outstanding run by Cortez and an outstanding job again by the Drake offensive line. They pulled out and trapped that time. A big hole up front for the Bulldogs.
1st and goal for Drake. They're going to mark it on the 7-yard line. Donald Sewing will be the lone back this time as Hall goes flank to the right side. Bulldogs knocking on the door and handoff up the middle to Donald Sewing. He gets 2, maybe 3. It'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line.
Pat McGuire with the tackle for Quincy, their leading tackler for the year. Pat McGuire made a great play on that time to read that play. That's one of Rob Ash's favorite plays, the trap up the middle, and went for short yardage.
Donald Bowman is going to come into the lineup here. Donald Bowman into the tight end. I'm not so sure the Bulldogs just won't try and punch it in here and manpower them. All sewing. Stay in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Ball resting at the Quincy 4. Hand off to Hull, goes to the left, gets to the 3, 2, 1, touchdown Drake. I think Coach Asheville's pretty confident with the offensive line of the Drake Bulldogs. Is there a flag on the play?
Flag on the play.
Well, we'll wait for the indication. It appears Roy Fletcher clapping his hands. It's going to be against Quincy, and it is. I think Coach Asheville's pretty confident with the Bulldogs' offensive line that they're going to just manpower them across this time.
Well, that time they ran that same lead play, pulling a guard and tackle, and Cortez Hull made the right decision. Went inside and was able to catch a touchdown. They just did an outstanding job on that drive.
Roy Fletcher. 6-0 as the Bulldogs will attempt the extra point here. As the Bulldogs take the opening series here for them and drive it right down the field and score the first touchdown of the football game, and that's going to make it a 7-0 ball game as the Drake Bulldogs take the lead here over the Quincy Hawks. So if you're Quincy, what does that do for you? Your defense is suspect anyway. Get this, they changed 6 starters from Thursday to Saturday on the 2-deep lineup. They changed 6 people there trying to shuffle things around after last week, and Coach Ash knew it, and he wanted that first series to be a good one, and he got it.
Well, I think that the key thing for the Bulldogs today is now they've got the first score to keep the pressure on, and they may be able to get enough points on the board to really demoralize this team. You know, other teams have been scoring 30, 40, 50 points against this Quincy team. Now, they've been able to score 30, 40, 50 coming back, but they have not played a defensive caliber of the Bulldogs.
7-0, Drake on top, 7:01 to go, first quarter. Bulldogs opening up here. Quincy got a first down in their first series, but then had to punt it away, and the Bulldogs took it all the way from the 20-yard line by the pass and run. If there was any question about Roy Fletcher, I think those have been answered here in the first series.
Nick, he was 4 for 4 on the series. They were not long passes, but they were good passes, and what I like to see is when he drops back, he's stable. Doesn't have happy feet back there. He seems to be in control, and that starts to show a development of a veteran quarterback when you're able to see that.
So the Bulldogs getting ready to tee it up and kick it off once again. The defense will be called upon, and back deep again will be number 84, Murphy Grant, who returned the last one for a pretty good return, and Horace Guthrie also both back deep here for Quincy. Boy, just a gorgeous day for football here today. Not a very good kickoff that time by Drake. This one's going to be filled the 25-yard line by DeGroat, and that's about it. That's all the farther he's going to get, right to the 40 or the 30-yard line. So good coverage by the Bulldogs after not a real good kickoff by Drake that time. So Quincy's offensive unit to come on, and I'll tell you what, so far, the man we are looking to watch, number 22, Noby Gooden, has not even seen anything of the football.
No, what they're going to try to do with Noby Gooden is get the ball in a passing situation and just throw it up high. He's got a 35-inch vertical leap, which is much higher than any Drake defensive back, so it creates all sorts of problems.
You know, one thing that Quincy's going to have to realize, though, is that they're sending 4 people out. They don't have quite the pass blocking that looks like they're going to have. Hand off to the tailback, and that's not going to go for much as Kyan Edwards gets brought down immediately. You know, they continue to send 4 people out. That doesn't leave many people back there, especially when you're taking one of your backs out of the blocking. That doesn't leave many people back there to protect that quarterback, and it's really been suspect so far.
And Drake's done a good job all year getting pressure on the quarterback, even with just a 4-man rush. When they start bringing some of the linebackers, too, it creates all sorts of issues for that Quincy offensive line.
First down and 10, 6:28 to go. First quarter, Drake leading 7-0. Bulldogs will keep 4 down linemen. Here comes Quincy. They split it twins to the right. Again, Gooden comes down to the bottom side. Out of the eye, back to pass, looking down the middle, in trouble again. Just what I mentioned a moment ago. He's going to lose about 3 yards. It's not going to be a question, I don't think, today if Noby Gooden can get open. I think it's going to be a question whether their quarterback, Jake Ryan, can even get rid of the football.
Well, that time it was Craig Ortworth, and Craig's turned into somewhat of our specialized pass rusher. Kevin Beveridge was in there with him, but Craig made the initial hit and tackle, and they've got to keep those people out if they're going to have any success from a passing standpoint.
Going to bring up 3rd down and 11 now for the Hawks of Quincy. As you can see, number 3, Horace Guthrie, coming back on. 3rd down and 12. And I think Drake was also doing a nice job disguising some defenses that time. They brought Tenold out, and then they brought Simon. Now they got Simon on man. Bulldogs showing blitz this time. And the penalty flag is going to come out on the far side. Is it delay of game? Must be. Going to be a delay game penalty against Quincy. I think Bulldogs got him guessing. The linebackers took a step up. Both Tenold and who else moved up inside there? And I think the quarterback, Jake Ryan, was trying to audible off the line of scrimmage. Just took too much time.
Yeah, what they're doing is putting Steve Tenold out on Noby Gooden to put some pressure on him at the line of scrimmage. That time he started out on the outside, walked inside like he was going to blitz, and the quarterback had to try to audible out and did not.
3rd down and 16. Back to pass, in trouble, steps up, now throws the football. I think it's incomplete. I don't think the officials saw it. Looked like it was incomplete to me. I don't know if we got a replay on that or not. Drake fans in the near side are having a fit as they could actually see the ball bounce, but the official on the far side said that he caught it, and they're going to give him the 1st down as it moves up to the 43-yard line.
That was not a complete pass, Mick. The ball hit the ground first. The official, though, is behind. That was another official's call, and nobody jumped in and made the call. One of the other officials should have stepped forward and tried to make that call.
1st and 10 for Quincy. The Hawks at the 42.5-yard line. They're going to bring Twins down to the left now as they'll put Gooden to the right side of the screen. On 1st down. Hand off to the fullback up the middle. Not much there. I'll tell you what, big stop by the Bulldogs in there that time. Big number 50 coming in to make the stop. Acabino, boy, I tell you what, there was nothing there. Who else was in there for Drake?
Well, Tony Acabino made the play along with the number 55, Matt Garbus, the linebackers.
Garbus out of Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, sprint draw, and they just read it dead to right.
I'm going to tell you, this Garbus is number 55. He's a freshman, 207, 6'2", and this kid is good. I mean, good.
Didn't he play? He was at the University of Minnesota last year.
He was at the University of Minnesota last year, yeah. And then came on to Drake, and he is really good. Missed a little bit of the year here. Timeout's going to be called by Quincy. Drake's really got him guessing. We'll take a timeout as well. 4:03 to go in the 1st. Drake leads this one 7-0, and we'll be back in just a moment.
In tomorrow's college classroom, the keyboard will be as important as the chalkboard. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. And it's an environment in which students develop strong working relationships with their curriculum, instructors, and computer. Of course, they develop other relationships too. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-4.
Back on 2nd down, going long to the far side. There's the man we were talking about here, the big number 22, Noby Gooden, but then hit off the shoulder blades and comes off. Drake with not that bad of coverage on that time, but he's 6'4", 225, and as you mentioned, he can really get up in the air.
Well, he was wide open that time. Had that instance where the ball hit him right in the shoulder. Steve Tenold, for some reason, had one-on-one coverage. I'm not sure that's the coverage the Bulldog defense wanted to be in, but Steve was running with him and was able to knock the ball away.
Here's some scores for you. Nebraska leading over Missouri 14-0. Oklahoma, Kansas knotted up at 7. Miami still winning Virginia Tech 34-3 in the 3rd. Syracuse winning over Temple in the 4th, 38-7. It's Colorado 10, Kansas State zip. And Michigan leading over Minnesota 35-7. On 3rd down, call it 3rd and 8. 3:58 to go here as the man goes in motion to the right side, and the penalty flag is going to come down. I think we're going to see another delay of game penalty. Indeed, we will. 7-0 moves it back. I'll tell you what, whenever you see a delay game penalty, that means the quarterback is really having some problems up there at the line of scrimmage trying to decipher exactly what defense he's looking at.
Well, they're real slow getting the plays from the sidelines, too, and so that makes it equally tough on the quarterback.
3rd down and 13 now for Quincy. And in motion to the far side from their own 40-yard line. They need to get down to the 48, and he's in trouble. Ortworth was coming in. Who finally made the stop there for the Bulldogs?
Kevin Beveridge.
Yeah, Beveridge coming in. Drake is really, I'll tell you what, it's like nobody's even up there in offensive line for Quincy. That quarterback's got to say, hold it.
Let's watch the replay, and we can probably see Ortworth here on the bottom. Look, he runs right around the offensive tackle, hardly even touches him. The quickness of Craig Ortworth and Kevin Beveridge, made the sack actually, is just tearing up the offensive line for the Quincy.
They got some big guys, but not near the quickness. They're going to need to stay with these guys. Bulldogs with 10 guys up in the line of scrimmage. Their punter from their own 18-yard line. Briley back at his 38. And the Bulldogs going for the block, and they don't get to it. Barely got it up. Briley fair catches it at his own 35-yard line. Briley saying, hold it, if 10 guys went for the ball, I'm not trying to return this by myself, guys.
He said, I'm not stupid. I'm right here. Last time the center snapped the ball to the kicker and bounced it back about 3 times. The coaching staff thought it might happen again, so they went for it. Good call by the coaching staff.
Good call indeed. 1st and 10, Drake, this one from their own 34. Second series for Drake. First one they drove 80 yards down for that 7-0 score, as you see here with 3:13 to go in our first quarter. Roy Fletcher at the quarterback spot, number 11 here. Jimmy D'Angelo sprained an ankle, didn't play last week or this week. Back to pass, going long for Briley. He's got him open, and he's touchdown. Goodbye, Chad Briley. The Bulldogs score a 66-yard touchdown pass as Roy Fletcher threw it to Briley, and I mean, it was perfect on the fingertips. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Great pass.
Wow. What a pass. I'll tell you what, they caught him sleeping. They caught him sneaking up all afternoon, as you said earlier, and watch this pass on the replay.
Now, Murphy Grant, who's defending on this play, last week was a wide receiver for Quincy. This week, he just got burned by Chad Briley for the touchdown.
Indeed, the Bulldogs will take a 2-touchdown lead here. Extra point upcoming here for Drake. And here's the kick. It is up, make it a 14-0 ball game. Bulldogs leading over Quincy with 3:04 to go in our first quarter, and the Bulldogs didn't take long that time of that series.
You want to build a little confidence for your quarterback, run that play several times and let him score like that, and all of a sudden Roy Fletcher feels very good. Again, watch this play. Roy Fletcher, just a straight play action, falls back, had one thing in mind the whole way, throws it right on the nose. 80 yards, touchdown.
Boy, beautiful. Briley, nobody near him. 20 yards back was the defender, and they were continuing to look for those curl patterns. And now Drake, just what they do perfectly, they do so good, is set up those long passes. 14-0, 3:04 to go, first quarter, and the Bulldogs have opened this one up here this afternoon. And you knew that something had to be suspect in the defense of Quincy when they allowed the team to come back last week and almost got beat. And Quincy's got to be thinking, what the heck's going on here this afternoon?
This is the kind of team you get on quick, and they have a hard time coming back. They're an offensive team. Their defense is not very good. You can see the Bulldogs on the sidelines. Chad Briley there after the long touchdown pass. It seems to me that every time Chad touches the ball, it's a long touchdown pass of some sort, Nick.
Gives you the old thumbs up indeed. A beautiful pass from Fletcher, a nice grab, and a touchdown here, and the Bulldogs getting ready to kick it off here once again to the Quincy Hawks. Now, if you're Quincy, you haven't had too good of luck passing. You haven't even had your chance to quarterback to even get rid of it. Here comes the return from the 5, 10, 15, 20, and tripped up as he gets to the 24-yard line. Well, the question so far for Quincy has been, can the quarterback get enough time? The quarterback, Jake Ryan, as you see Rob Ash watching his kickoff team come off the field, but the defense has done such a superb job for Drake so far today.
Well, when you get down like this, what do you want to do? You want to start trying to throw the football. And Drake's defensive line is doing just a great job of getting pressure, and it's tough to throw the ball.
1st and 10 for the Quincy Hawks. Now you probably got to be thinking if you're Quincy, maybe, I don't even know if you try a screen at your own 23. I know one thing, I'd be keeping all my backs in I could. And out to the tailback. Boy, that's it. Who is it, Garvis come in?
You got Garvis, you got the interior line, you got everybody up front for the Bulldogs. If I'm the Quincy coaching staff, I think I start running the ball a little bit and try to settle down and maybe take a few minutes off the clock and catch my wind.
Well, I'll tell you what, nobody even got a shoulder pad on Garvis. He came in there and nailed him. Boy, he's just an outstanding. I can't tell you enough, folks, how good this kid is. Matt Garvis, only a freshman, and Rob Ash was glad to see him. He had a knee injury here at the first part of the year, and he wasn't too happy to be sitting on the sidelines, but he's back, and he is good. Second down and 9, give him a half a yard. Twins right, good to the left, now man in motion. Now they're going to have trips to the right side. Drake with man on. Now they got rolls to the right side, in trouble, throws the football to the ground. There's a perfect example. There's a quarterback that probably isn't used to scrambling too much, and I mean not rolling out too much. And Jake Ryan running to your right, throwing to the right, and he threw it behind him.
It's a tough pass to make, and Kevin Beveridge out there is chasing you down, and that makes it even more difficult.
Jake Ryan, the quarterback's got to be wondering, how am I going to buy any time here at all? And you got to think, whenever you don't have time blocking-wise, you're going to throw some short passes, but they're not used to that. They like to throw them long. Third down and 9 upcoming here for Quincy. We're down to the 2:10 marker in our first quarter. Drake leading 14-0. Now they'll put Twins right, Twins left. Draw play up the middle. No, Orworth there to stop it. I don't want to keep complimenting these kids, but they're doing, you know, Orworth just came from the outside and made the stop down the middle on the draw play.
They talk about, sometimes announcers talk about pinning your ears back on pass plays. He had his pin back that time, and it was amazing because he stopped dead in his tracks and made the tackle as the guy went by.
Fourth down upcoming for Quincy. Fourth down in a punting situation. And the Bulldogs are going to put 10 guys, I think, up on the line of scrimmage again. Doc Harris is the man that's going to be booting anyway, standing at his own 11-yard line. Drake with 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage here. And good snap this time. And gets the boot off. Briley again, fair catch called for from his own 36-yard line. So Drake's offensive unit to come back out of the field so far. And Quincy right now offensively just really is struggling.
Well, let's see how Coach Ash follows up with on the first play after his long touchdown pass. And let's see if he goes deep again, just to see what kind of reaction he gets out of the Quincy defensive backs.
Riley goes left, Krill right, Sewing in the backfield to be accompanied along with Matt Conlon, a freshman who's only had 7 carries this year. Waiting for the yard markers to get set across the way. Bulldogs with their third series, hand off to Conlon. That's his 8th carry. He gets to the 40, 45, lowers his head, still on his feet. Look at it. He still isn't down. He's still kind of halfway up there amongst the piles. He gets close to the first down to the 46-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 1 after a 9-yard gain.
You know, Matt's 5'9", 187-pound freshman from Papillon, Nebraska. Did a great job. Watch the replay. Just a sprint draw. Look at the blocking up front. Now watch the second effort here. 1, 2, 3. I'm not going down, Matt says, and leans forward for almost a first down.
2nd down and a yard, one the Bulldogs can play with. Donald Sewing the lone back on 2nd down to their own 46-yard line. Roy Fletcher, the quarterback, hand up. Nope, going to go back to the pass, rolls left. Little curl patter to Diggs, and the end throws him. Probably a good place to put it. Took a little too long to develop that time, I think.
Yeah, and I think the play got kind of messed up. They had great penetration by Quincy that time, and Roy Fletcher was kind of running for his life, had to try to stop and throw, a difficult throw to make, and it's better to probably throw it in the ground.
Now 3rd down and short, but there was one play they could play with on short.
Let's see if we see the trap play up the middle here on 3rd and short.
Here's 3rd and short here indeed. Donald Sewing the lone back, get right down the line of scrimmage, down to the ditches here. Hand off, Sewing right side off tackle, first down, 50, and he's down to the 48-yard line. 1st and 10, Drake, and then Donald Sewing again, the man to go to. And Sewing continues to dig up those yards. He's averaging 5.5. There's Donald Sewing, getting up a little slow this time. The senior out of Overland Park, Kansas, and Scott Kerr and company coming on to check him over. Hopefully that not too severe.
And we're a little thin at fullback right now. Mike Stanfield's recovering from a sprained ankle, I believe, and it's not scheduled to be back till next week.
You know what? I think he might have got his air knocked out of him. He's holding his stomach. That'll put into the backfield into the fullback, Todd Whittam, a freshman, 202. He'll wear the 44. At the Quincy 49-yard line. Handoff. Conlon, 45, 40. Look at, boy, I tell you what, he runs hard. He's looking for a starting spot. Matt Conlon, the ball carrier, only his 9th carry this year. And let's watch the replay on this one. This kid really runs hard.
Yeah, sprint draw action. Watch him break tackle, run, and keep his feet going. Good run by Matt Conlon.
Going to be close to a first down, and that's the end of the first quarter. We're switching field positions here. After 1 quarter of play, the Drake Bulldogs lead by 2 touchdowns. It's 14-0 Drake, and we'll be back.
Well, I'm not real bright. That's okay.
The dawn of the information age gave new meaning to the expression, knowledge is power. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. Of course, Drake isn't all midterms and Macintoshes.
14-0. It's Drake leading here as we get ready for second quarter play. Drake with the football at the Quincy. Second and short, handoff. Conlon again breaks a tackle. Boy, I tell you what, this kid is really doing a nice job trying to get that starting position away there at the tailback. He picks up the first down, and he doesn't go down on that first tackle, does he?
He really doesn't. He's running very hard, showing good balance, good speed, and that's just great. You know, what have we seen this year? 4 different tailbacks from the Bulldogs, and all 4 of them are freshmen.
All freshmen. Good things to come. And Roy Fletcher as well at the quarterback spot here for the Bulldogs, only a redshirt freshman. And again at the fullback, Todd Whittam is going to be in there. Donald Sewing went out here just a moment ago. We'll try and check on his status. First and 10, Drake. Fletcher back to pass, looking down the middle. Goes short. Goal. There's Creel wide open. 20, 15, down to the 10-yard line. A good open field tackle. Nobody was even close to Creel. Where'd he come from?
He came from this side, waited for the whole Quincy defense to clear out, then snuck across the middle, and there wasn't a soul within 15 or 20 yards. A great pickup for the Bulldogs. Watch him come across the middle. They're clearing out. There he is, showing up on the other side. Blown coverage, I have to assume, by Quincy, and just a great play. Has Roy Fletcher missed a pass yet?
I don't think he has. First and goal at the 10-yard line. Briley left, Creel right. Conlon along with Sewing back into the ball game. First and goal at the 10-yard line. Fletcher, handoff, left side, Conlon, down to the 8, down to the 7. He's grinding them out down there as he gets down close to the 6-yard line.
Matt Conlon again with an outstanding job. The Drake offensive line's having a very good day here in the first half, and I got to know Coach Asher's pleased with that, because that was one of his concerns, that they had a good day and they felt they could control the line of scrimmage if they did.
Diggs in, Bowman in, second and goal at the 7-yard line for the Drake Bulldogs, knocking on the door here for the 3rd time in this football game. Don't be surprised if Drake tries to run it on down the throat. Conlon and Sewing again in the backfield. Bowman tight right on second down. Back to pass. Look into the corner for Creel's got him.
Oh, nice play.
Down. Jeff Creel, boy, what a gorgeous grab by Jeff Creel that time for Drake. Knew where the in line was going to be. Jeff Creel, who averages 12 yards per carry, brings this one home for a touchdown for the Drake Bulldogs. And for Creel, that will be touchdown number 6 for 1992.
Roy Fletcher threw it right where he had to, too. It was just an outstanding pass and an outstanding catch by Jeff Creel.
Oh, nice job. Here comes the extra point attempt. The Bulldogs will open this one up here, and it's also good. Makes it a 21-0 football game at this point. And, boy, you could tell from the get-go on this one that this wasn't going to be the game that many people thought it was going to be.
Well, the Drake offense is really hitting on all cylinders today. And again, some great passing plays. Roy Fletcher, I don't believe, has missed a pass the whole first quarter, and another perfect pass for him.
21-0 with 13:20 to go here in our first half. The Bulldogs have opened her up here, and they are working on both sides, offensively and defensively. Boy, and everything going the right way.
Well, this is good for the Bulldogs. They've had a tough schedule so far this season. They went into Dayton. I know the coaching staff was a little concerned about the mental aspect of this game. It doesn't look like they need to be concerned after the first quarter, but the Bulldogs need a game where they have get a little cushion and play well.
Well, Drake getting ready to kick it off again here, and I'll tell you, the defense also. Well, the Bulldogs, after a disappointing loss last week, coming back and lighting it up here in this first half. Back deep for Quincy again will be Horace Guthrie, accompanied along with Grant. Here's the kickoff. Guthrie will return it from his own 12. The 15, 20. Tries to get to the outside and maybe gets to the 30-yard line. That's about it. So Quincy, the offensive unit, who has not had a real opportunity to do too much this first half. The one pass they did get, I think the official might have gave it to him.
That's right.
It looked to us like it skipped.
I think it did skip, and that time on the kickoff, Mark Simon, the defensive back, was playing on the outside for the Bulldogs, and Mark's responsibility is to keep the play from getting outside, and although their return man had a lot of speed, Mark hung right there and made the tackle.
Jake Ryan is the quarterback. He does work out of the shotgun. Now we're going to see it. I saw him warming up. And I'm going to tell you what I also saw. The center wasn't very good at hiking to it. This one kind of a short pass. Complete. Hit the receiver in the back that time, and Ryan is on his back as well, as he's just having a terrible time. They had the shotgun, and that was Craig Ortworth in there to knock him down.
Craig Ortworth was not touched. The offensive lineman didn't get out of his stance before Craig Ortworth was already past him.
If you're Quincy at this point, don't you got to be saying, what are we going to do? We're running the shotgun, we're throwing a quick pass, and we're still getting our quarterback knocked down.
At that time, the pass hit the guy in the back.
2nd and 10, again out of the shotgun. Don't be surprised if this get a bad snap here. That one a little high. They got twins to the far side, and that one's going to be intercepted. Oh, knocked him out. Hold it.
Oh, wait a minute.
I got to question that. Drake's going to question the call now. The defensive man, who was it? Is that Gerlach? Coach Ash unhappy. I think Gerlach went up and got the ball, and then he was knocked out of bounds. Well,
Mark Simon with it.
Or Simon.
Let's watch a replay. Mark Simon makes the interception here. Watch him. Catches the ball right. Doesn't have a chance to come out. Does not have a chance to land inbounds because he lands on top of the wide receiver. I think it should be Drake's ball.
But it's going to be Quincy's ball, 3rd down and 10, and they are just having a terrible, terrible day. Now let's watch the replay here.
Slow motion.
I think you got to give him the chance to come down.
I think you do too.
Look, he didn't even look where the defensive man was still down. Now we're back to live action here on 3rd down, and their quarterback throws it short.
Right there.
And he went down to the knee, so he's going to give him to the 34. I don't know if we can get the quarterback. He's getting back up, getting awful slow. Their quarterback of Jake Ryan, who's just about, he's got to be going over to the far sideline saying, Coach, go ahead and put the other quarterbacks in if you want. I'm not really. 4th down and 5 upcoming for Quincy. They're going to have to punt it away. Briley will be back deep in his own 25. He hadn't had an opportunity to return too much. Some of the Drake fans on hand here today, because Drake's been sending 10 people to block. 4th down, punting situation. There's Briley, 2nd return man of the nation. Good snap from center. Drake will set up the return. Gets a good boot. Briley, oh man. Briley lets it go over his head, and Briley's in trouble. Now he tries to pick it up and does, and he's going to be right at the end line at the 1-yard line. Well, it booted over Chad's head. Chad didn't expect him. How many yards was that? About
like 55, 54-yard kick. Great
and
kick.
Briley went way over his head, and then he knew he was in trouble. Then he tried to pick it up. Then he thought, well, maybe I shouldn't. Well, maybe I should. And Drake's going to get at their 1-yard line.
Coach Ash was cringing the whole time that decision was being made. Probably should have just left the ball alone.
Easy for us to say, huh?
That's right. We're not out there with 21-0.
And 10, 11 guys running down your back. Well, Roy Fletcher and company's got their work cut out for them. 1st and 10. At their own one, handoff Sewing, trying to get him some room. Breaks a tackle to the 5, gets out to the 9-yard line. Quincy's having a tough time bringing him down with one tackle. Here's the cheerleaders and showing them how to do it. Just moving on down the field. 2nd and 3. 11:43 second quarter. Drake winning 21-0. 2nd down. Let's see if the Bulldogs go to the air this time. Taylor will get the call to the left side. Boy, not much running room in that time. Even Taylor, the ball carrier. He's a freshman averaging 3.2 yards per carry. He's a good one as well.
Yeah, Pat McGuire and Shane Widmer on the tackle for the Hawks. Brings up a 3rd and 3, Mick. 3rd and 4.
Going to bring up 3rd and 3. They'll bring Bowman in. Krill will come in.
Maybe our first 3rd down for the Bulldogs in the first half.
Krill left. Deshaun Diggs right. Taylor and Sewing will be in the backfield. Bowman will be at the tight right spot. Roy Fletcher and company on 3rd down. Back to pass. Looking over the middle. Intercepted at the 20-yard line and returns it back to the 12-yard line. Well, I don't know where he came from. Number 8 getting the interception that time for Quincy Munsterman, and he came from nowhere.
Well, we were talking earlier about Roy Fletcher doing a good job with his passing. That time he probably threw a pass and forced it in there. Tim Musterman for the Hawks was right in position, able to make the interception, and now the Drake defense has the work cut off because the Hawks have the ball on the 11-yard line.
Let's see the replay on this. Let's see if we can see where he came from. There's Fletcher getting a little heat.
Right there. He was inside of Jeff Creel on playing just a zone defense and made the interception.
Didn't see him coming from the far side. Here comes Quincy. 1st and 10, and they're going to be at the Bulldog 10-yard line. So this will tell us a little bit. They put 3 trips to the left side. Trips left, Gooden right, back to pass, looking for Gooden over the middle. Incomplete. Boy, they do just throw it up and high with that Gooden, 6'4".
Brad Nimick on the coverage along with Steve Tinhold. They're just trying to throw it high, let him jump up and catch the ball.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10 to the Bulldog 11-yard line. Quincy again having a little trouble. 21-0 as you can see. Drake leading, but they're having troubles getting the play in. Really taking some time getting that play in. Again, trips to the left side. Good and right. Bulldogs show man coverage defensively. Back to pass. Ryan rolls left, in trouble. Scrambles, and he's going to lose about 3. I don't know if that was a quarterback rollout draw or not, but there you can see some of the cheerleaders. But I'll tell you what, it didn't have much to go on.
Todd DeMoss on the blitz made the tackle, or maybe it was Charlie Partridge, excuse me. And Drake again had good pressure. They're trying to get the quarterback out and away from that Drake defensive line, and they're having difficulty doing it even on the rollout.
3rd down and 13 now. They can get a first down if they get inside the 1-yard line, but they're looking for touchdown trailing. Again, 4 ends. Trips left to go to the shotgun formation this time for Jake Ryan. 3rd down, Bulldogs. Far side, intercepted by Drake. Off the offensive end of Horace Guthrie, and the interception by the Bulldogs here.
Mark Simon?
Yeah, Simon come up with the interception. Let's watch the replay this time. They had about 4 ends out. Drake got about as many defenders out there.
Whenever you have this many people, Mark Simon right there, the ball's tipped. Mark comes up with it. You have 1, 2 offensive players. You have 3 defensive players around the ball. Whenever you throw the ball into a crowd like that, it's equally difficult for them to make the catch, and that time it resulted in a Drake interception.
So the Bulldogs return the interception and get the ball at their own 20-yard line. And Roy Fletcher and company back out there offensively for the Bulldogs. In the blue uniforms, Quincy in the white and gold. 1st down, back to pass, quick pass, Creel near side, gets to the 27, rolls out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Jeff Creel on the out pattern.
You know, that's a good call by Coach Ash. They're trying to develop the confidence of a young quarterback. His last play out, he made a bad pass. He forced the ball, interception. This time he comes back with the easy down and out, makes the reception, and again gets his confidence back in the right direction.
A gain of 7 to bring up 2nd and 3 now for Drake. Jules into the lineup here for the Bulldogs as well. Judd Jules, another in for Drake. Riley right. Fletcher on 2nd down. And up. Cortez Hull says, Wow, nowhere to go. Maybe lost a yard. He was brought down immediately.
Pat McGuire, leading tackle for the Hawks, made that tackle. When they pulled the trapping guard, he missed his tackle, and Pat McGuire said, hello, right there.
Loss of a yard brings up 3rd and 4. 9:33, you can see the field goal kickers warming up on the near sideline. 3rd down upcoming. Creel, Diggs, Briley, and Hall. Twins right and left. Roy Fletcher, number 11, to the quarterback slot. On 3rd down. Long count of the line of scrimmage. Back to pass. Looking for Sewing. Now steps up into the pocket. Comes near side to Briley. 35, 40. Down to the 50. Down to the 40-yard line. Down to the 35, 34-yard line. Chad Briley and Drake had Sewing open on the far side as well, and Chad Briley came from right to left, Sewing from left to right. But first off, Fletcher had to get away from the would-be tackler.
Let's watch the replay. Roy Fletcher does an outstanding job. Now he's got to step up in the pocket. See, the pocket's full, and steps right up in it. Jeff Briley's got great speed down the sideline and a great gain for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10, Drake. Well, I'll tell you what, Fletcher's gaining confidence, too. Sewing at the fullback slot on 1st down, gets the call up the middle, big hole, 30, 25, lowers his head to the 23, close to the 1st down for Drake. And Donald Sewing, no one there, is a wide open hole, and he is close to the 1st down marker.
Again, the Drake offensive line doing a great job. Quincy's got to be questioned a little bit here. They're just getting blown away by the Drake offensive line, and then Drake comes back with the big pass plays. It's tough as a defensive person to play in this type of game.
Creel left, Briley right, 1st and 10. Cortez Hull back at the tailback slot. Fletcher on 1st down, the 24, making the 23 of Quincy. Might have offsides. Hand off to Hull, trying to get to the outside. Not going to get there. Boy, I don't know if Quincy was outside or not, but they must have got off the line of scrimmage. 21-0 Drake on top of this one. Quincy had the ball on an interception at the 10, but couldn't get it in and threw an interception. And now Drake has worked from their own 20-yard line down to the Quincy 23. And Drake, both offensively and defensively, have been superb. Now Jules right, Diggs left. On 2nd down. Back to pass.
Great fake.
Looking for Jules, going to Bowman. Got the 1st down. Down to the 10. You know, Bowman's only got a couple of catches so far this year, and this is another one to his credit, but he's got good hands.
He really does, and that time Roy Fletcher, the play action fake, faked out the defense. Really a nice play by Roy Fletcher on the fake. And Bowman coming across the center of the field was able to make the reception.
1st and 10 for Drake. Ball just over the 10-yard line, as you can take a look at the Drake sidelines. Fletcher continues to throw. 4 receptions here today. On 1st down. And off tailback hole. Big hole. 5 touchdowns. Going to go in untouched. Cortez Hull takes it in. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bulldogs will put up their 4th TD with 7:18 to go in our 1st half. Drake has opened this one up. What can you say? Fletcher's doing a superb job, and now the blocking of the offensive line of Drake completely opened that hole.
And we've got some new offensive players in there on the offensive line. Big hole. Nobody even touched him until he got to the goal line.
Extra point attempt upcoming here for Drake, and that'll make it a 28-0 football game. And what most people thought going in would be a high-scoring game is, but it's only one-sided.
One-sided game, and Drake's offense is just totally dominating, along with, I guess you got to say, the defense, who shut him down at the 10-yard line, came up with the interception for the Bulldogs. This is a great game for Drake. It's a confidence builder. They need this game this time of year. It's mid-season. They've had a lot of tough games, and it's always good to have a game like this where you get a big lead, you get some of your young people in. I don't believe Coach Ash is happy that the first 4 or 5 games they've been able to play as many young people as he'd like to.
No, and I think he's fed them over and over and over, and especially when you got to take on the Augustinas, the Millicas, the Daytons, and Simpsons, you don't have an opportunity to play a lot of the players, but what appears, unless it's a duplicate of either the Iowa State game last week or the Quincy game last week. This one, Rob Ash is going to get an opportunity to see a lot of people in this football game as Drake puts up a 28-0 score with 7:18 to go in the halftime. And Drake, both offensively and defensively, has just blown this Quincy Hawk team out. I'll tell you what, and their only weapon, the Nobi Gooden, hadn't even caught the ball yet. He's only had the hand on it once.
I think they've caught one pass the whole first half, and that was one we disputed because we felt it hit the ground.
But we gave it to him anyway.
That's right.
Kickoff upcoming once again. I don't think Drake's punted yet.
Good kick.
Going to fill this one for the 10, 15, 20, 25, and that's it. Ooh, wow. Hello. Return man that time. Murphy Grant gets nailed as he gets to the 25-yard line. Well, Quincy's story so far, they like to pass the football, but Jake Ryan, their quarterback, has not had any time. Oh, I got the old helmet cam back off today.
Helmet cam, week 2, right there.
Week 2 of helmet cam, soon to be seen in the NFL and college football across the nation. Being designed by Dr. Moon. Just tough when they put their head in there is all.
That's right.
Kind of blocks the camera. First and 10 at the 25. Let's see what Quincy does. Now they're going to keep the ends in. Now they're going to get a single man to the right side. I questioned it throughout the first half. They had 4 ends out and nobody blocking. Back to pass, and that might be a fumble. Now they're going to jump on it anyway. I don't know if they're going to call it down. Incomplete pass. Jake Ryan is getting up ever so slowly, and Jake Ryan is their quarterback. He's a junior, and he's got to be saying, boys, I need some help.
And he's got to be thinking that David Ortworth now is living next door to him, because every time he turns around, Craig Ortworth, gets hit by Craig Ortworth again, that time. Incomplete pass, luckily, for the Hawks.
Coach Hadachek, a little smile.
That's right.
Kind of rare for him in the first half. Smiling at the offensive line. 2nd and 10, Quincy again from their own 26. Back to pass. Short pass intercepted. Steve Tennell intercepts at the 33-yard line. The Bulldog offensive unit back on. Jake Ryan, the quarterback, is, I think, a little flustered back there. He's had heat all day, and this one he tries to throw quick, and this one he gets intercepted. And Drake's really taking him out of their game plan today. Let's watch the replay on this one. Quick set.
Yeah, quick pass right into Steve's hands.
Didn't look like Nobi Gooden did the curl in time.
Let's look at our offensive line for Drake. I think we got the second-team offensive line. Let's look at Bob Hamilton at center, Chris Martin, Garrett LaFleur, David Pimrick, Philip Smerrick, I think are all in right now for the Bulldogs.
Fletcher's still in there at the quarterback slot on 1st and 10. Drake as well getting some different people in there. Boy, Matt Conlon gets hit immediately. They do have Todd Whittam in there at the fullback slot getting some playing time. Or Drake.
Pat McGuire, as bad as the Quincy defense has had difficulty handling the Bulldogs, Pat McGuire, their number 56, their linebacker, made the tackle there and has done a good job when he had the opportunity of tackling and made some big hits in today's game.
Jules into the lineup now. Chad Briley comes out, 6:36 to go, second quarter, 28-0, Drake leading. Jules will go to the, Diggs will go left, Jules will go right. Again, the lone fullback, Whittam on 2nd down. Fletcher back to pass, quick set, going over the top for Diggs. Look at that pass. Whoa, down to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Drake, and that pass will make you go, wow.
Mick, that was as pretty as you'll ever see at any level of college football. Let's watch the replay. Roy Fletcher backs up, short drop back, lofts the ball over the defensive back right there. Great play.
Right between them. 1st and 10, Drake down to the Quincy 20. What do we figure? Fletcher's only missed one today? One pass. On 1st down. Quincy almost offside. Whittam gets the call up the middle, down to the 15. Look at that big fullback. Down inside the 10-yard line. Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling. 202 pounds freshman. Todd Whittam says, hey, while I'm in here, I might as well catch that coach's eye. And up the middle he goes for a big gain of that time. He's out of Ottumwa, Iowa, my hometown. Let's watch the replay on it.
Watch Todd jump over the offensive lineman right there. Hello, here we go.
And a 1st and goal at the Quincy 8-yard line. The Bulldogs again are knocking on the door. First and goal. Hand off up the middle. Gets to the outside. Maybe down to the 5. Still on his feet. I'm kind of impressed with this Matt Conlon keeping his feet moving the way he does.
Yeah, he really has, and that time it's a smart move. He faked inside, went outside where the hole was, and has really got a good field of vision.
5:09 to play, 28-0. Drake will bring Briley, Breger, Krill in now. On second and goal at the Quincy 6-yard line. And we might add, even though Drake still has their starting quarterback in there, there's some fans on hand. He's pretty excited, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I want to know why Drake hadn't scored more. Second and goal. Hand off left side. There it is. Touchdown. The big Tumble boy takes her on in there. Todd Whittam, the freshman, his first touchdown in a Drake uniform. And he gets it in there for the Bulldogs' 5th touchdown of the football game.
Well, the Drake freshman running core is really getting the workout today. Todd, I don't think, has carried the ball before until today, and he's had 2 good carries. A touchdown for him as a freshman, a big thrill for him for a Drake Bulldog.
34-0. 4:41 to play in the half. And Quincy's already checking the map back home. Here comes the extra point. It's up and good. Make it 35-0. And Quincy, who only has a couple of first downs, I think, is really down at this point.
Well, the Drake Bulldogs have had the ball 6 times in the first half, and they've scored 5 times. And on each time, it's been big gains, big plays, and they really haven't held the ball that long. Every time they get the ball, they're able to move it downfield quickly and score.
35-0. Drake leading over Quincy here with 4:41 to go in our second quarter. And once again, we're going to see Quincy's offensive unit come on. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised they try anything, maybe a different quarterback at this point, because Jake Ryan is really taking a beating back there at the quarterback slot.
I'm not sure that changing the quarterback will help that, because the Drake defensive line has really put on a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and whoever is back there right now is getting abused.
There's Coach Ash on the near sideline, and he's getting an opportunity to get quite a few people in here in this football game, and he's happy to do that.
You know, Mick, one of the things in a game like this that's tough is the kickoff team. This is the 5th time and the 6th time that Drake's kicked off in this half. And when you're out there playing offense and then you turn around and play on a kickoff team, it's tough.
Indeed it is. A good boot down the middle. Driving kick going to be tough to come up with. Brett Bonner returns it from the 5, 10, 15, in trouble to the far side, gets to the 20, and boy, that's it for the Bulldogs as they stop him over there. Mark Simon coming up. Well, we've seen him a lot here today. He's had a great football game.
Mark Simon plays that side of the field so perfectly on the kickoff team. There you can see Rob Ash on the sideline continuing to coach, continuing to look into ways to have the Bulldogs get as many players in on this game as he can.
First and 10, Quincy at their own 26-yard line, 35-0 football game. Drake on top. Here comes Quincy, and we're going to still see their quarterback, Jake Ryan, out there. And he hasn't had an opportunity to hardly throw the football, as he's had a bunch of blue jerseys on him all afternoon. And off to the fullback, breaks a tackle, gets to the 30, 33, 34. That's their longest gain of the football game as they get about 8 yards on the carry, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 2.
That's Greg Gerlach on this tackle coming up from his free safety position. He broke a couple tackles and came thundering through the line of scrimmage, and Greg had to come up and make a shoestring tackle.
2nd and short now upcoming for Quincy.
That's their first running play in, what, 2 or 3 series?
Yeah, it is. 2nd down. Twins left, Twins right now. For the Hawks. On count of the line of scrimmage by Ryan. He fumbles the football and jumps back on it. So he doesn't lose any, but it's not gonna lose it down here as Rob Ash looking on, and they're looking. Got the old tee out.
Let's look. Drake defensive line is switched out to the next line. You've got Steve Flattery at defensive end, Jason Conway at defensive tackle, Todd Lee at defensive tackle, and Arthur Renier at defensive end for the Bulldogs.
3rd down upcoming for the Quincy Hawks. Twins left and right on third down. Back to pass. Has pressure. Yeah, not going to go anywhere. Well, I'll tell you what, he has no time whatsoever back there in the pocket. You get to the point where you kind of feel for the guy.
You really do.
Drake defensive line is just eating him up, and they're just like having a heyday out there.
Steve Flattery got his first sack of the year right there. You watched him in warm-ups. He's a good throwing quarterback. He's a good athlete. You can tell from the way he warmed up. And he's just had a terrible time getting any time to throw the ball.
35-0, and Quincy's going to have to punt it away again. After they picked up 8, they lose 5, and they're back to 4th and long. Briley back at his own 25. He hasn't had much of an opportunity to return much today. Here comes the return to the right this time. Good boot. Briley will field this one at his own 30-yard line. Here comes the return. Gets to the outside of the 35, gets to the 40, 45, 50, down to the 40, down to the 35, touchdown. 30. He's gone. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Chad Briley for the Bulldogs, and he shows you why he's second in the nation in the punt return. And Briley takes it all the way in after an initial try to be tackle. He takes it on through, and I'll tell you what, there's more men out there than him that are helping him block, but a super job on the cutback.
Let's watch this again. Chad's just done a great job all year. Watch the blocking by the Bulldogs. Right there's a block. Chad gets outside, up the sideline, one block right there, and watch the block out here in front. Does a great job. Once he gets in the open, nobody can touch him. What is that, his 4th TD for on either kickoffs or punts?
Unbelievable. The extra point attempt up and good as well. And, well, I'll tell you what can you say as you take a look at his statistics here? He has just done one super job here this year on the punt returns. And there you can see Roy Fletcher says, okay, well, I don't have to go out this time for the quarterback. I'll just kind of stay over here.
Well, he ran a kickoff back for 94 yards against Simpson. He had a 93-yarder against Aurora, and now he's had the punt return there for about 70 yards against Quincy. And right now the Bulldogs have it up 42-0 over the Quincy Hawks.
42-zip with 2:10 remaining here in our first half. And
Mick, this is not a fun game for Quincy. I played in a couple of these games when I was a Drake Bulldog. I played in a game where we lost 77-7 at Tulsa, and it was a track meet just like this.
I think it's something to be said about the Drake coaching staff. You know, after you go over to Dayton and you get beat, and you come back home here, you didn't know how the Bulldogs would respond after such a rugged first half of the season. Coming here against a Quincy team that isn't a bad football team. Let me tell you, folks, they are not a bad football team, and Drake has embarrassed them here today so far in this football game.
Well, in talking to the Quincy coaching staff before the game, one of the things they said is that Drake has really developed a quality program, and that people don't realize the quality of this program and how it's developed over the last 3 years.
Well, once again, Drake kicking it off. Return man from his own 22-yard line. Gets to the 30, gets to the 35, and that's it. The 36-yard line. Ball carrier Murphy Grant that time again. There's Chad Briley, number 81, out of Creston, Iowa, the junior. He's got, well, what a career already. Looks awfully young, though, doesn't he? Look, hi, Mom. He's smiling. He is smiling. Boy, what a great catch Coach Ash did with him. Quincy 1st and 10. They'll bring on their offensive unit. We're going to see some different people. Drake's got their second-string defense in now.
Got their second-string defense. And
They've got some defensive backs in there.
But that shows a lot from the Drake coaching staff.
And I guess Garvin Stone there at the linebacker slot as well. But quite a few different people in there on the defensive line. 1st and 10, Quincy. Hand off, tailback, trying to get outside. Breaks a couple of tackles, gets to the 40, 42-yard line. Not a bad gain, a gain of 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 now for the Hawks.
Greg Gerlach with the tackle, and I think the Quincy coaching staff would like to get out of this halftime and just go back to the locker room and try to regroup and try to let the clock run out.
A minute 44 to play in our half. Drake winning at 42-0. And I mean, everything has gone Drake's way. Offensively, defensively, and even the punt return. You only wondered how long it would take before Briley finally got his chance.
Right. That's right.
Could return it early because Drake was rushing the punter. 2nd and 3, call it. I'm sorry, 2nd and 3. Hand off, tailback. I told you wrong. And that's not going to gain any, so it'll bring up 3rd and 3. Bulldog defensive line coming in to make the stop. Quincy has not been able to pass the football, and that is exactly what they like to do.
Yeah, you had Todd DeMoss on the tackle along with Todd Lee, both young players for the Bulldogs. And Drake, this is a positive thing for these young Bulldogs getting a chance to play for more than just a few cleanup minutes. They're serious when they get out there, and they want to try to show that they have the opportunity to play for the Bulldogs in other games, so they're trying to play as hard as they can.
Third down upcoming here for the Hawks. 43 seconds to play. Bulldogs show blitz. Garvis steps up in the middle this time on third down. Bulldogs, now he steps back. Active pass, quick pass intercepted. Intercepted by the Bulldog defensive unit, and he continues to try and throw short. And another interception by Drake, and this time it's 34. Joseph Bianchi comes in to make the interception. Joe Bianchi. Let's watch the replay that time. Boy, he tries to set up quick and tries to throw to the outside, and there's no one there. They just drop back, and there he is with the interception. So the Drake offensive unit back out of the field again. And they have 29 seconds. I would be surprised if Drake tries to put it in the air. They'll probably try and just run the clock out. Yeah. Going to hand it off the fullback. 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line. Ball carrier, the fullback, Todd Whittam, who scored the last touchdown. And with 23 seconds, they'll stop the clock to move the yard markers. I don't think Coach A is going to be in any hurry to try and put on any more scores here. First and 10, down to the 20. Second marker, 19-second marker. They're at the Quincy 30-yard line. Probably be the last play of the scrimmage, or the first half. Hand off again, this one to Taylor. He tries to get to the outside, and he is still not brought down. Gets down to the 21. And that will run the clock out. That'll bring us to our halftime. 42-0. 42-0 is our halftime score. The Drake Bulldogs have exploded here in the first half to a Quincy team, and we'll be back.
In tomorrow's college classroom, the keyboard will be as important as the chalkboard. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. And it's an environment in which students develop strong working relationships with their curriculum, instructors, and computer. Of course, they develop other relationships too. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
At halftime at Drake Stadium with the Drake University Bulldogs 42 and the Quincy Hawks 0. With us at halftime today, we have Lynn King, Athletic Director at Drake University. Lynn, today's a special day for the athletic department. You're honoring 120 student athletes that have a 3.0 grade average or better.
That's right. We're very proud of our academics here within the athletic department at Drake University. Over 40% of our student athletes this last semester earned a 3-point grade point average or better. We've had 5 academic All-Americans in the last 2 years, which is virtually unheard of. And we're very proud of that. Our kids do a great job in the classroom as well as on the field.
That's outstanding. It's good for the athletic program and says a lot about Drake University. I understand this week you were at the Pioneer League at a meeting in Indianapolis for the Pioneer League, which is a new 1AA league Drake is helping form this year. Can you give us an update on the league and the proceedings last week in Indianapolis?
That's right. As of 1993, in the fall of 1993, we will become Division 1AA. We're forming a new league with Dayton, Valparaiso, Evansville, Butler, the University of San Diego, and it'll be a 1AA football league. We will play cost containment football. In other words, we'll still be non-scholarship football. But this league now will be the third league nationally, along with the Patriot League and the Ivy League, to be non-scholarship Division I football programs, football leagues. The ECAC is also forming a non-scholarship league, and it's our anticipation that with what's happening in intercollegiate athletics today, that we're just going to be one of many leagues in the future that are playing cost containment football. Our whole goal, of course, at Drake University is to give as many young people as possible the opportunity to compete. We're very pleased about the fact that we've got one of the top football programs in the Midwest, and certainly for a medium-sized private institution, we're very pleased with the kind of program that we put forward for our young people.
Are you seeing a lot of other conferences that are considering the non-scholarship route? I know there's been some talk in the media between the Gateway, the Ohio Valley. What's the general word on the street as far as that, Lynn?
Well, there's no doubt about it. This is there's some very stressful times out there now in intercollegiate athletic programs, and everybody is taking a good hard look at their programs, making very difficult decisions about how they're going to be able to fund their programs into the year 2000. Most programs like Drake University would like to see their football programs continue, and they're going to have to make some really hard choices in terms of what they're going to do with scholarship programs. I think, quite frankly, that Drake University was just 5 years ahead of the curve. I think that there's some very hard decisions were made in the mid-'80s that are going to be shown to be very intelligent decisions now in the mid-'90s. As I said, these are very difficult times, not just for intercollegiate athletic programs, but for state governments in general. It's just something we're all faced with, and something that every program's got to make decisions on. But I think that you're going to see a change in some of the intercollegiate athletic programs in the future.
Lynn, well, when you change to 1AA, will you have spring practice? That's something we've been talking up in the box about today. Will that be something you don't do? Will you continue the same methodology you've had under one AAA?
We will not have spring practice. One of the things that we're adamant about in terms of the conference meetings and all the schools involved is that we want to maintain cost containment football philosophy, which is primarily the Division III concept in terms of financial aid and other aspects of rules. Now, there will be other Division I AA rules that will be actually more restrictive, like the recruiting rules that we'll need to follow. But certainly our intent is to make it as easy as possible for our student athletes to be successful on the field and off the field. And we feel that frankly, we want to maintain that non-scholarship cost containment philosophy, which in this instance will not include spring football.
Now, you've been named recently to a steering committee with the NCAA. Could you tell us quickly a little bit about that?
All right, I was named recently to the Division I AAA steering committee that will work with the NCAA, some of their major committees in establishing and working toward legislation that will address some of the specific challenges that we have in Division I cost containment football programs. And we'll be looking at things that we'd like to see happen within the NCAA, within Division I AA, where our programs differ from the scholarship programs. We certainly are not interested at all in having scholarship programs move to non-containment or cost containment football or non-scholarship football. What we want is just a very solid home for football programs like Drake University's program. And frankly, we feel very confident that we're offering the kind of football that our student athletes respond to and that fans respond to. And we just want the ability to operate our programs as independent as we can in terms of the rules that we need to operate under and still be fair within the NCAA.
Well, good luck with the NCAA committee. And again, congratulations on the student athletes and the grade point averages.
Thanks, Brady. We'll
be back from Drake University Stadium after this.
The dawn of the information age gave new meaning to the expression, knowledge is power. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. Of course, Drake isn't all midterms and Macintoshes. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
We're back at halftime at Drake University with a special guest at halftime, someone we've all watched on the field for the last 4 or 5 games. And today we're watching him on crutches, Jamie D'Angelo, Drake quarterback. Jamie, you had an unfortunate incident where you sprained your ankle. Can you tell me how you're feeling and how the ankle's healing?
Ankle's coming along good. It's progressed a lot more than we thought, a lot quicker than we thought. It looked pretty severe, and it is, but it's been coming around. I've been working on it. We've been about 4 hours a day I've been doing therapy. It's coming around. It was just an unfortunate incident. I just clumsily fell down the stairs going in the back of my house, and it's, I'm really embarrassed and ashamed to talk about it, but it's really hard because we were having a good season. I was feeling good about myself, especially the biggest game of my life in Dayton. I was ready for it, felt good, and then that happened. It just really hurt me, and it still hurts us right now.
Now, do you think there's any chance you'll be able to get back on it by the end of the season? What's the prognosis?
Well, doesn't look good. I'm shooting for the last game. If I can get one more game playing before the season's over, that would make my career, I think, to get back as far as coming back. But the doctor doesn't think I'm going to make it.
Now we can get a little outside commentary. Here's your chance for America to be a football commentator. Roy Fletcher just had an outstanding first half for the Bulldogs. The whole team did. Give us your comments and thoughts on the first half performance on the Bulldogs.
Oh, it was great. In meetings that I was in, we talked about what we're going to do is exploit the secondary of Quincy. We thought we could beat him deep. We thought we could pass the ball on him. And Roy's just done a tremendous job. He's hitting all his passes. I think he's 11 of 13. He's just on target, and he's just playing great. I mean, I think last week, the start of Quincy against Dayton, it really helped him for this week because, that was a tough game. It was a tough situation for him, but he came back, and he's ready to play. He's looking good.
Well, Jamie, we wish you the best of luck. We wish you to heal quickly, and we'll see you next year for the Bulldogs.
Thank you very much.
We're back at Drake Stadium right after this.
In tomorrow's college classroom, the keyboard will be as important as the chalkboard. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. And it's an environment in which students develop strong working relationships with their curriculum, instructors, and computer. Of course, they develop other relationships too. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE. the information age gave new meaning to the expression, knowledge is power. The power to teach. Power to question. Power to learn. University, we realize knowledge will be the most important tool of the future.
Hi, I'm Rob Hill on the field with the Drake Bulldogs 42, the Quincy Hawks 0. With us at halftime, we have Lonnie Timmerman, wrestling coach at Drake University. Lonnie, you've been wrestling coach now for 26 years at Drake University. 14 years in a row you've had a winning record. In 1991, you were, 28-3, 26-3. What's the 1992 year look like for the Bulldogs?
We'd like to repeat that 28-3 record. If we could do that right now, we could just move right on the spring and call it the season. We're looking forward to the year. It's going to be great. We have Scott Gagno coming back, who was the Western Athletic Conference champion 2 years ago when we wrestled at Air Force. He should do very well for us. We're hoping that he can make the top 8 of America and be All-American. The team from top to bottom is going to be solid. We open soon. We've been doing some practice. We're full go now, and it's really fun having such a fine, outstanding squad as we have right now.
Now, you've been able to free up some scholarships in the last few years, so you have more people available. Tell us a little bit about your top newcomers for the Bulldogs this year.
Well, probably our most outstanding newcomer this year that's going to be on the varsity is Chris Coppola. Chris wrestled for Dowling High School. He was state champion last year. And it looks like he's going to move into the starting lineup, which is an unusual feat for a person going into a Division I program right out of high school.
What about the move to the WAC conference? You've been in the WAC now, 3 years. How has that affected your program?
It's helped our recruiting immensely. It's great to be able to go to places like Air Force and Laramie, Wyoming, and now this year we're going to be at Provo, Utah, and BYU will be hosting the event. The next year we'll be going to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then it'll be here at Drake, and that will be nice for us to host the Western Athletic Conference Championships.
Now, big matches for the Bulldogs at home this year. Do you play any perennial powers here at home again?
We do indeed. Just about 3 weeks from now, the 21st of November, Iowa State will be here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They have one of the best teams in America. Also, on January 30th, we get to have our one meet in the Drake Center. We're excited about that. We hope to draw a large crowd so that maybe we can get over there for lots of meets. We have UNI here at 2 o'clock on January 30th. And we'll have BYU here on the 13th of February at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That'll be in the field house.
Well, it's got to be special for you this year, too, because the NCAAs are at Ames at the end of, I assume, in March, and that's got to be special for the Drake and the Drake's coaching staff and the wrestlers.
This is a marvelous state for wrestling. The best high school coaches in America, the best fans. We've had great traditional teams for years and years and years. And having the national championships here will prove to be a great success. The place will be packed at the Hilton Coliseum. When we go to the Hawkeye Carver Arena, it's packed. It's exciting to wrestle in front of those great crowds.
Well, good luck with the 1992 year. You've had an outstanding program for many, many years. You're a good friend of Drake University and a big supporter, and thank you, and good luck for you and your team.
Thank you very much.
This is Rob Hill. We'll be back at halftime.
dawn of the information age gave new meaning to the expression knowledge is power. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. Of course, Drake isn't all midterms and Macintoshes. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
And Victor Raviel back at Drake Stadium. We're at halftime, 42-0 our score here at halftime. Here's your halftime stats. Certainly Drake owning everything. First down, 17-2. Certainly everything going their way here in this. But look at the passing attempts and completions. 11 out of 13 for Roy Fletcher. One super job for Fletcher. 198 yards for him alone passing. Couple of touchdowns. We'll see him a little bit here in the second half. 354 total offensive yards for the Drake Bulldogs. Quincy had 42, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not real sure where they even came from. But certainly the Bulldogs owning completely here in the first half. Bulldogs have played penalty-free, and the time of possession actually, surprisingly, almost even there, and that's a little bit of a surprise. But the Bulldogs, couple of touchdowns, of course, the punt return. And, of course, the quick other passes have not allowed them to really have the football that much. Their defense hasn't had to come out here, but what little we've seen them, they've done one super job. The offense, with some quick touchdowns. 42-0 is our score. The Drake Bulldogs leading here over Quincy. Let's take a look at some individual statistics. Roy Fletcher, 198 yards, I mentioned. One interception there. Only one bad pass by Roy Fletcher so far. And for the Bulldogs, Krill, 52 yards. We'll watch him. He's got 5 pass receptions so far. He's getting close to a record here for the season. Donald Sewing had 1 reception. Chad Briley, 2 for 170 yards. 107 yards, that 66-yard touchdown pass to Chad Briley to help him out as well. Punting, Brian Peck has not even been in the football game. He hadn't even warmed up. He hadn't even got up a sweat yet. Donald Sewing with 36 yards rushing. Cortez Hull, nice job for him today, trying to impress Coach Ash, 48 yards. Todd Whittam with 35, and Matt Conlon also trying to impress Coach Ash. He has 29 yards as well. 42-0 is our halftime score. It is all Drake so far in this football game. Let me pass on some scores to you here. Some scores around the nation. East Carolina leading for Pittsburgh 21-3, that ball game of the fourth. Alabama has defeated Mississippi 31-10. It's Florida leading over Louisville 17-3. Nebraska leading Missouri 24-14. Elsewhere, Illinois leading Northwestern 19-3. Kansas leading for Oklahoma in the third 17-10. Miami of Florida blowing out Virginia Tech 43-16. Syracuse defeating Temple 38-7 the final. Colorado in the second leading over K-State 20-0. Maryland 21, Duke 13. That game's at the half. Iowa, Purdue pretty much evened up. Iowa leading by 3 in the third. Michigan putting it on Minnesota here in the fourth quarter. They're up by some 40-50 points. Wisconsin, Indiana not up at 3. And Oklahoma State trailing Iowa State 7-0. That ball game was in the second. And Notre Dame leading over Brigham Young 14-9. And North Carolina State leading over Clemson by the score, or that's a final by the score of 20-6. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it's second half kickoff. We're at halftime. 42-0 our halftime score. Back in a moment.
The dawn of the information age gave new meaning to the expression knowledge is power. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. Of course, Drake isn't all midterms and Macintoshes. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
Victor Rob Hill, our camera crew, way above the press box up there. And we're at halftime. 42-0 is our score. The Drake Bulldogs leading it over Quincy. Quincy will kick it off here. Wow, what a kick right to Briley from his own 10-yard line. 15 to the 20, 25, and stop there as he gets to the 28-yard line. And that's where the Bulldog offense unit to come on. I was talking to some of the coaches here at the halftime of the Drake coaches, and they think maybe Fletcher might play one series, then they might bring him out. And you won't see the Bulldogs trying to embarrass Quincy at all here today. And certainly try and roll up this score, Rob. I think they'll just try and play out the second half and try and get some players in here. And certainly leading 42-0. It has been a all-Drake first half.
Now, I think we'll see them continue to try to run the ball. We probably will not see the long down-the-field passes.
Briley left, Creel right. Fletcher at the quarterback. First down, handoff, tailback. Cortez Hull gets to the outside barely, picks up about 2 or 3, gets a couple across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And that is about it.
You know, Mick, the halftime statistics for the Bulldogs were just so impressive compared to Quincy. Drake had 17 first downs. Quincy had 2. 156-yard rushing to 16 for Quincy. Go ahead.
Second down and 7 upcoming for Drake. Low back will be Donald Sewing in the backfield this time. Quincy almost offside, long count. Sewing gets the call, left side. It's wrapped up immediately as he rolls up to the 33, 34-yard line. It's going to bring up third down at about 5 now for the Bulldogs, blue and white. Well, Coach Ash has certainly got to be happy offensively and defensively. It has been one super half of football for Drake. They just completely rolled over.
Quincy had 42 yards total offense in the first half. This from a team that had 475 last week.
Good point. Third down upcoming for Drake. On count of the line of scrimmage again. Fletcher draws him off sides. Going to get a free play. All the time in the world. Now steps up down the middle, wide open, finds Briley. He gets up to close to the midfield, down up to the 48, and I think we're going to get a free. Oh, he's still on his feet. Get to the 49. I thought he was brought down.
I thought they'd blow the whistle by then. He just took his time and kept running and kept running. Chad was wide open over the middle, and Roy Fletcher again had good time. And, you know, Roy's doing something that's difficult for a young quarterback to understand, and that is he's taking his time back in the pocket and stepping up when the offense gets on top of him to make those throws.
So the clock stopped. The penalty will be refused by Drake. The defensive end jumping off sides over there. First and 10, Drake.
First half, Roy was 11 out of 13.
First and 10 at the midfield stripe. Hand off, tailback. Ooh, Hull going to try to get to the outside. He gets to the 45, 40. Still on his feet. Look at him run inside the 30-yard line. Cortez Hull, the ball carrier this time. The freshman out of Des Moines North, impressing the coach here this afternoon. He's not easy to bring down.
No, he's not. Deshaun Diggs made a big block out on the outside to spring him loose. Mick, I was trying to think when we're during halftime. I don't think we've had many penalties against the Bulldogs this year. Watch the replay right here. Cuts to the outside, and you'll see at the bottom of your screen the block right there that was springing him loose down the sideline.
How about Deshaun Diggs? First and 10, Drake down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Roy Fletcher and company on first down. Sewing handoff right side. He bulls his way inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Give him a gain of 5 at least. It'll bring up second down and 5. Now I want to reiterate again, the Bulldogs certainly not trying to roll up a big score here against Quincy. As you can well see here in the second half, they're going to be very content just to try and run the football. And
well, their biggest concern is getting somebody injured in the second half. They're going to try to be very conservative, I'm sure, and put the ball on the ground and run it out and let the clock run out.
On second down and short. Oh, this time comes near side. First down inside the 20. 15 down to the 14. First and 10, Drake.
Running very hard is Cortez Hull. Had the break, took the break to the outside. Big play, first down Bulldogs.
At the Quincy 14-yard line. think Coach Ash is going to be able to complain about anything so far in this football game. I was just trying to think if there's any negative, and I can't think of one. One lone interception by Fletcher. I don't think he'll say too much when he's 11 of 13 in the first half.
That's right.
1st and 10 to the Quincy 14-yard line. Fletcher and company. Now the right tackle comes up for Drake. There is the first penalty of the football game for the Bulldogs. A false start over the far side by Drake. Chad Sexauer. Coach Ash looking on would do Jules next to him, I think, or either him or. So that'll be a 1st and 15 now upcoming for Drake. I still don't think they'll throw the football.
Well, I'd look for him to run it at least for the first few downs here to try to pick up the yardage on the ground. The offensive line continues to do an outstanding job of blocking up front and create all kinds of problems for the Hawks.
1st and 15 for Roy Fletcher and company. Hand off, Cortez Hull down to the 15, 10, down to the 5, down to the 3-yard line. And close to a first down. I believe he picked it up as he gets a beautiful run and some great blocking again up front. I didn't think Drake would put it in the air. They're just going to try and run it, and can't tell the kids not to try.
Great blocking up front. Let's watch the replay. Watch the offensive guard and offensive tackle make the block. We also had Donald Sewing throw a block in there, and the manhandling is taking place along the front four.
Cortez Hull did a nice job selecting his hole as well. 1st and goal at the Quincy 3-yard line. 1st and goal at the 3. Donald Sewing tries to go off tackle on the left side, not going to get in there. He's going to get down to the 2. It'll bring up 2nd and goal at the 2. Well, Drake last week, who opened up against Dayton on a fumble on the first play from scrimmage, then had to play catch-up, not knowing that Jamie DeAngelo was going to get injured on Thursday night, then had to put Roy Fletcher in. Roy a little nervous last week, but he certainly isn't here today.
This is a tremendous confidence builder for a young quarterback, especially a second-year freshman like Roy. This is just what the doctor ordered for Coach Ash.
2nd down, 2nd and goal upcoming. Cross back hole, right side. He's not going to get in there. Quincy being pretty stubborn here. Maybe got down to the 1. That's about it.
Pat McGuire on the tackle for Quincy. That's 2 nice plays in a row by the defensive line at Quincy. That time they shut the hole down. In fact, Drake may have lost a yard on that play.
Going to bring up a 3rd down situation. Bowman coming in. Briley, Jules coming in. Breger out, Diggs out, Creel out. On 3rd down, call a 3rd and a long 2 for the Drake Blue and White. Well, you got man out here on Briley, the left side, and Jules will go right. 3rd down and goal at the 2. Keeps it himself, rolls right, got a man. Jules, nope, going down the middle. Bowman, that's his 2nd touchdown of the year. Down to Bowman, the tight end slot, gets the pass play. And a touchdown for the Bulldogs to tackle on 6 more.
Donald Bowman was wide open, but Jude Jules was standing in the corner wide open, and I think he was disappointed the ball didn't come to him. He was right there, and he kind of threw his hands up in disgust because Roy had the option of throwing to either one of them, and he picked the Donald Bowman in the corner, and Jude did not get his touchdown there.
And Bowman gets his 2nd one of the football game, and Jude says, hey, I don't have one yet this year. How about me?
That's right. I wanted that one. Here I was. We have an injured player on the field for Quincy.
Boy, you hate to see that, too, because that's going to be number 47 over there, and that is Shane Whitmer, a linebacker, and he is a good one. He looks to be in considerable pain over there, so we hope that certainly neither team gets any injuries here in the 2nd half, because this game has been long over for some time, and Drake leading 48-0 with 9:27 to go in our 3rd quarter. And their injured players still being attended to across the way.
Now I think you're going to see mass substitutions by the Bulldogs during in this next series. The common philosophy from a coaching standpoint is to bring your starters out, let them have the first series of plays. If they score, then you're bringing in your 2nd, your 3rd team, getting them some playing time, and it really helps your maturity levels as a team when they're able to play for the upcoming years.
Well, they're still attending to the injured player across the way, and I was watching Coach Hadachek and Coach Ash here on the near sideline as they walk up and down here on the near side, and certainly I think they're going to see they're recruiting the next series of players to play. I wouldn't be surprised if Roy comes out of the lineup too. Yeah, and I think he just handed the football on over to Craig McClain. I think we're going to see McClain in there as well to quarterback Drake from here on out.
Now, one of the interesting things about a team is to see how they'll play with their second and third teams who have not had the opportunity. Here's the kick.
Kick is up, the extra point attempt up, and it is good. Makes it a 49-0 ball game. 49-0. Drake waiting here with 9:27 to go, and Drake has not had to punt all day long.
Now, the punter hadn't punted punt. We've had one turnover now.
I think he went home. I think he went home about halfway through the first. I think he went to the showers, got his...
I think Chad Briley could punt. He can do everything else. We'll let him punt.
Probably so. 49-0. Drake leading over Quincy. As you can see the Drake sideline, certainly, and some people anxiously awaiting to get into this football game. And the Bulldogs, the only pass in that series was the last one for the touchdown. Everything else was a run. So I just wanted to bring that up, not to think that people think that Drake is pouring it on here, because that is not their style.
You know what happens? These second and third team players that we're going to see here are kids who want to get a starting position. So what they're going to do is play as hard or harder than what we've seen from the first teamers, and sometimes you'll even score more that way.
Well, the Bulldogs teeing it up once again, and it's been all Drake here today. A little bit of a surprise to many people, maybe not to Coach Ash and the coaching staff, but we expected, I must say, more out of Quincy here today.
Mick, I expected to see a more organized offense. I really did. I knew they've scored a lot of points. They've given up a lot, but they've always been able to score big numbers, and we just have not seen that yet.
Kickoff upcoming. A high kick. Guthrie will field this one at his own 15, 20, 30, 35, and, the ball carrier that time return man was Mike Mon, and he gets way up across the 35 to the 39-yard line. A nice return here by the Quincy Hawks. Well, Coach Ash looking on, and see defensively who we got in there. Matt Garba's still in there at the linebacker. I think they want to get him some playing time. Craig Orwer's still in there. There's Rob Ash.
Yeah, we've got the starting defense, it looks like, from a defensive standpoint. On the other hand, Quincy's now has a new quarterback in, number 12.
Chip Campbell, the 6-foot sophomore, is going to come into the lineup to be the QB. Hand off to the tailback to the near side. Look at Matt Garba's come up and make that stop. Man, he just roams from one side to the other, doesn't he?
The Drake defense, other than like 1 or 2 first downs in that first series, has really played well this game, putting pressure on the quarterback and shutting down any offense running plays. And Mick, I think this is the first team we've seen all year in the Drake schedule that didn't run the option at you. And so Drake's got a chance to run some different defensive schemes.
There you saw number 12, Chip Campbell, the sophomore quarterback. And there for Quincy, taking over 49-0. Back to pass, has pressure. There's Craig Orworth. He's got him. Oh, man. He grabbed him at about the 31-yard line, so that's where they're going to call him down. But this, I'm going to tell you what, when they go back and watch the performance by Craig Orworth on the game tape, they're going to just scream and yell.
Take a watch at the replay. Craig just goes right through. It's untouched by the Quincy Hawks. No one even blocked him. He was not touched.
I don't know if the back was supposed to pick him up, Raymond Carvis, or not, but nobody even touched him. He says, okay, I'll go on in. 3rd and 17 now upcoming. You know, they got some good-sized kids up on that Quincy offensive line, 265, 240, 240, 260, but just no quickness.
Look at how far back the offensive tackle is trying to block him.
They just
time he tackled
can have a penalty. Can have a penalty come out. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if we got it on replay.
I saw that.
Craig Orworth got tackled. Well, I guess there is one way to stop him, is to tackle him.
I hope we have that on replay, because we were watching Paul Matty, the tackle, number 55, trying to block Craig Orworth. He started out almost in the backfield of the Quincy Hawks, and then we both saw him just do a takedown like the WFL or whatever wrestling league on Craig Orworth.
Cortez Hull talking things over with Matt Conlon, and the penalty will be refused. I think Drake's just going to have to punt it away. Going to bring up 4th down and 17 anyway, so they're going to have to punt it. Just too much for Quincy today. Michael Beeman on knew this kid when he was a youngster over in Newton, Iowa. Back deep here for Drake. He'll be standing at his own 25-yard line and gets a far kick. Beeman trying to go after it. He's going to have to let it roll down inside the 35-yard line. So the Bulldog offense will come back onto the field. I think we'll probably see the backup quarterback today, and indeed we will. Craig McClain, the freshman quarterback, number 17, will be coming in as the return team gets a nice round of applause. 7:40 to go, third quarter. Drake leading 49-0. They led 42-zip at halftime, and then took the opening series right down and scored. And now it's all reserves in there. Sean Diggs will come out on the left side. Jules will go right. So we'll see what McClain will do. 1st and 10. And off to number 30, I believe, Matt Conlon. And he gets up across the 35. And might be close to a first down. Conlon, the ball carrier, the freshman.
Conlon had 29 yards rushing the first half, and we were both impressed by his second effort. That time on a draw play was able to pick up about 11 yards on a straight draw by the Bulldogs in there with a new offensive line in there.
1st and 10. They're going to call out a first down. Craig McClain, the quarterback, in company to the 35-yard line. Bulldogs hand off up the middle, trying to find some room. Breaks a couple of tackles. Whittam gets outside the 40 to the 42-yard line. I got a couple of them out there from my hometown, from Tumblin Prairie City, where I grew up.
You had a lot of hometowns.
I had a lot of hometowns. We moved around a lot trying to... Never mind. I better not tell that joke. 2nd down upcoming for Drake. Drake, I don't think they'll see much in the air unless they give McClain just a chance to maybe throw a couple. And off again to Conlon. He gets the first down. 2nd effort. Up across the 45 to the 46.5-yard line. Rob Ash having some fun here today, getting some people in.
You know, this puts Rob Ash in a unique situation, and that is trying to be conservative. He likes to air it out, open it up, be creative, and when you're in a game like this, you don't really want to do that. We haven't seen the Notre Dame fake reverse pass yet. We haven't seen the the screen in the front, and now we got a 49-0 score.
1st and 10, Drake at the their own 47-yard line. Ball carry up the middle, the fullback. Big hole again goes up there for Whittam, and he gets down inside the 45-yard line. And Drake continues to pick up 8-9 yards. This one making an 8-yard carry to bring up 2nd and 2.
Nick, one of the things that this is good for, right now we have all freshmen in the backfield. We've seen all of our freshman running backs today carry the ball. We have great depth from a running back standpoint for the future years to come for the Bulldogs.
Sean Diggs will go right, Jules left on 2nd and short upcoming. Conlon, the tailback, gets the call, left side, trying to get to the outside, and not going to get the first down, I don't believe, as he gets down inside the 45, down to the 44. It'll be close to the first down. They might have to measure here or bring up 3rd down. Well, some impressive stats for Roy Fletcher, the starting quarterback for Drake. Will tell you after this play. 3rd down and short upcoming for Drake. Call it 3rd and a yard. Whittam, the fullback, gets the call. Right side, 2nd effort, down to the 40-yard line. Fletcher's statistics for the day.
13 for 15, 1 interception, 216 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. 1st and 10, Drake, is the backup quarterback Craig McClain in the ball game here for the Blue and White. They're down to the Quincy 40-yard line. Diggs right, Jules left. On 1st down, Conlon gets the call, tries to pick his way, and he'll get down about the 38, and that's about it. A couple of yards, brings up 2nd and 8.
Conlon shows a lot of ability as a tailback. Right there on that particular play, was able to cut back into the line of scrimmage, pick up a few extra yards. One thing he does that's great to see from a coaching standpoint, he carries the ball with both hands around it. He makes cuts, but he also has got a lot of 2nd effort. And when you're in a position like he is, trying to get more playing time, a game like this is a big opportunity.
Rich Hoskins, number 4, into the lineup. And Rena in the lineup, number 5. On 2nd down, back to pass, quick pass near side, gets inside the 35 to Rich Hoskins, and he barely inside the 35. Give him a gain of about 3. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Rich, a freshman from Lake Forest, Illinois, at 6 foot, 192 pounds. I think that's his first reception for the year.
I think McLean also just wanted to give him a pass he could make and give him a little confidence here. You don't want to throw those long ones out when you got a quarterback in there. Third down. And rolls out left, going looking. No, it's going to be got a penalty flag down as McLean rolled out here on the quarterback rollout.
I think we might have a holding on Todd Whittem that time when he was trying to block the outside linebacker. Let's look and see.
The official going to be holding against Drake, so and that nullifies the first down. Let's watch the replay. Now watch 44. He's set up there on the left side.
Right there, he grabs hold of the linebacker, just a naked reversed outside option by the quarterback, and Todd got caught holding on that outside linebacker.
Good camera work. There's Mr. Fletcher, who did a super job. 13 of 15 today. Hey, he's got some confidence. If there's any question about his arm, they were answered today.
No, and it's a great game.
Put a smile on his face.
He could smile, couldn't he? At least he could say hi, Mom, like everybody else has today.
3rd down and long, upcoming 3rd and 14.
Mick, the punter's warming up down here.
For the first time. He hasn't punted yet today. Back to pass. Looking, screen play, near side. Ooh, Whittem in trouble. And a penalty flag coming down on late hit. Late hit is going to be called against Quincy. A little frustration that time. Might be a little frustration is they have not had a very good day.
That's tough. It really is when you're a team. And Quincy's got a lot of young players. They've got a lot of great athletes, just like any other college football team, and they're competitors. And when you get down like this, it's frustrating. It's tough. And you got to hand it to them. It's been a clean game so far. There has not been many penalties. But I think everybody, including the Quincy coaching staff, would like to see the clock run as fast as possible.
Well, they're not bringing the yard markers in, but I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a first down. 1st and 10 for Drake. Well, the punter back on the bench.
Brian Peck, just sit down.
Almost had to break a sweat. He did too. 1st and 10 Bulldogs at the Quincy 30-yard line. Quincy showing blitz.
There it is.
Well,
motion on the Drake offensive line.
Yeah, I think the tight end might have jumped. David Doran might have moved over there. That'll cost him 5. Now it'll bring up 1st and 15. Clock stopped here with 3:14 to play in the 3rd. Drake winning 49-0. Diggs out. Arena in. Bulldogs get an opportunity to get some people in here. Craig McLean, number 17, to the quarterback slot. And off up the middle with a big hole, 30, 25, the 20-yard line, close to a first down, and he picks it up down to the 19-yard line. Big number 44, Todd Whittem, the freshman, at 202 pounds, getting the call here this afternoon.
Todd got a great block that time. Watch Philip Smerick with the block right there. Great block by that offensive tackle and that young man, and a nice run by the fullback.
1st and 10 Bulldogs. Put a man right and left. McLean up there. Well, they're blitzing some linebackers, so when you get by that initial line, pull the guard. Here comes the trap. Big play down the middle. Matt Conlon down inside the 10-yard line before he's finally brought down. When you break that initial line, you're going to get some yardage.
Well, Mick, the offensive line, the backup offensive line people are doing another good job. We got a first down for the Bulldogs. Look at these backup people. We have Bob Hamilton, Chris Martin, Garrett LaFleur, David Pemrick, and Phil Smerick, and they've done a good job, just like the first string did.
1st and goal, and mark it at the Quincy 9-yard line. Whittem will be the lone back on 1st and goal to 9. 2:13 to go, 3rd quarter. Drake already leading 49-0. Whittem trying to get to the outside. 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, finally brought down as they try and strip the ball away for little or no gain. Now they're going to bring Taylor into the lineup at the tailback slot. Drake has not tried to pass it or roll up the score any here in this ball game. They have just been very efficient on what they've done and completely have manhandled this Quincy team. 2nd and goal. Taylor gets the call. Big hole. 5, 4, 3. Down to the 1-yard line before he's finally brought down. He can run hard.
Oh, he can run hard. Now, he's been running as a first-team tailback for the first couple of weeks and had some outstanding games, so this is not something new for him. And he hits the line of scrimmage so quick as a tailback. Let's watch this replay. Just a trap blocking right there, up the line of scrimmage, into the hole as quickly as any back we have on the Bulldogs.
3rd down and goal, and the nose of the football is just about an inch away for a touchdown here. 3rd and goal. McLean, handoff, Whittam, in there for the touchdown. Touchdown, Drake. Well, what can you say? The Bulldogs have second teamers in there and some reserves in there, and they take it right on down the field and score the touchdown. And there he is, number 44, Todd Whittam, the freshman, and we're going to see it on the replay. It's just lower your head and take it on in.
Not anything special by the Bulldogs on that play. Not anything special during the whole series of plays to go 80 yards for the touchdown.
55-0 with 55 seconds to go in our 3rd quarter. Extra point attempt upcoming. It is up, and it is good. 56-0. Drake takes the lead here in this football game. Surprised? Yeah.
Yes.
Not after the first series, though.
No. I'm still surprised that we did not see more offense from Quincy. They have scored a lot of points this year.
Well, I tell you what, they really, 56-0, as you can see the score, really do not pass block very well for a team that passes the football. Drake completely manhandled them all over the place. That's okay. That's the most points by a Drake Division III team in the by Drake as a Division III team. The previous one against Simpson.
You know, you go back and look at the Quincy schedule. They got beat last week 50-49 against a good Greenville College team. Illinois Benedictine.
Which Drake plays in the near future.
Play next week. They got beat 40-28. Still scored 28 points. The week before, Eureka College out of Illinois, 28-26. McMurray, 24-13. Central Methodist, 21-20. Benedictine College out of Kansas, 38-13. They're 2-4 coming into this game. Scored a lot of points, but they've given up a lot of points. But I think it just shows the type of team that Drake is starting to develop as a Division III program.
Boy, indeed. Bulldogs getting ready here again to kick it off with 55 seconds to play in our 3rd, and Drake leading 56-0. Here's the kickoff. The return will come from the 10-yard line. The 15, 20, 25, 30. They've had some good kickoff returns, and they get all the way to the 35-yard line. So we're going to see the Quincy offense going to come back out of the field once again as well. And, well, I'm going to tell you, you know what's surprising is they have some big kids up there. Take a look at some of those. Look at those linemen. 200 and some pounds, but Drake defense is just so much quicker than they have been, and they have just embarrassed them so far here. The quarterback is not. Oh, now they're really going to have a shotgun. Wow. Chip Campbell, he's back to about 7 yards.
Yeah, punt the ball.
Yeah. Over the top. Almost intercepted.
Nice play.
Almost intercepted. Quincy yelling for interference, but they don't get it. Almost intercepted that time by Michael Beeman.
Yeah, Drake had good coverage that time. You know, the quarterback stepped back about 2 yards from where he started, so the rush didn't get a chance to get to him. A fairly quick pattern. Drake defense, again, did a good job with coverage. He floats. The ball floats when he throws it. He does not throw a hard ball. And their intent is to have their wide receivers jump up and catch the ball, and it's been tough on them all day.
One play they do usually use, they use this tackle that comes out at the end, out of split end, but I haven't seen it yet today. There's a pass. They finally get it to the number 22, Noby Gooden. Noby Gooden's going to get 9 yards on a reception. That is his first one of the afternoon. This kid, let me look at the stats on this kid. Came in, talked up so highly here, and there's for a reason.
Noby's got 32 receptions this year for 512 yards, averaging 16 yards a reception, and he's got 6 TDs.
6 touchdowns, yeah. And that is his first catch of the day. 3rd down and short upcoming here for Quincy. And Drake with their second-team defense in it. Oh, I don't think he's going to make it. He didn't. Came out immediately in there on the stop was Jason Conway, one of the stoppers for Drake. Going to get that's the old cheap ways to get a binocular, huh? That's fourth down. Timeout, official timeout. They're going to bring in the yard markers across the way. We're at the end of the third quarter. We're headed to the fourth and final quarter. Drake in well control of this one, winning 56-0, and we'll be back.
In tomorrow's college classroom, the keyboard will be as important as the chalkboard. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum, where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. And it's an environment in which students develop strong working relationships with their curriculum, instructors, and computer. Of course, they develop other relationships too. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
56-0 here our score. Fourth down and short upcoming after the yard markers came in and they switched field positions here. Quarterback keeper, and I think he's going to get it first down. Well, the Bulldog defensive unit, second teamers coming in and doing a nice job. We're just underway, fourth quarter if you joined us. The Bulldogs led 42-0 at halftime. And we've seen all second teamers here and some reserves in the second half. So first and 10 for Quincy. I think that's what, their second one?
Third first down of the game.
Third first down. They still got their first string in there. Shotgun formation, a second string quarterback, Chip Campbell. Back to pass, going long over the top, looking for their big guy, number 22, Nobi Gooden, and they overthrow him. I was talking to the coaches beforehand. Coach Michael was telling me that you should have seen the tape of this Quincy team last week when they allowed the team to come back on them. Said it was very interesting to watch that last week's football game.
Well, they had a 35-14 third quarter lead and got beat 50-49.
That tells you what type of game it was.
Whoa, some scoring went on in that third and fourth quarter.
Second and 10 now for Quincy. The Hawks still scoreless in this football game. Back to pass. Rolls right, still looking. Got his man for the first down as he gets him down to the 40-yard line. On the reception that time, Wes Harris, the wide receiver.
Now you can see a little difference between the first unit and the second unit of Drake as far as rushing the passer. We aren't able to get quite as much pressure on the passer, and that enables him to have a little bit of time and pick up some of those throws downfield, and that's their second completion in this drive.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs. Drake get an opportunity to get some people in. On first down, back to pass again. Falls down, that'll be down. He went down to the knee, so they'll mark it as a 6-yard loss, 6.5, and they'll bring up second and 16.
If you're the coaching staff for Quincy after that play, you're starting to say, oh my, come on. That's a tough thing for a quarterback to do when he falls down like that.
Second down now upcoming. Quincy has had trouble all day long trying to buy time to pass the football. All scoring by Drake will be a record for a Division III team here at Drake. Back to pass, rolls left, trying to buy some time. Now starts to get in trouble, throws one long. This one is going to be intercepted by the Bulldogs. Number 16, Darren Bush. He'll return it to the 25 and gets out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. They look confused, very, very confused. The ends are turning the wrong way. They're just...
Yeah, on that particular play, Gooden turned out when the quarterback threw it deep, and there was no one there but Drake Bulldogs. watch the replay.
Yeah.
Quarterback comes out to the left on a sprint option type play, pumps once, fakes downfield, and right there you can see Gooden, who had turned, and right into our Drake Bulldogs' hands.
So the Bulldog offense back out of the field. First down and 10. Quarterback here for Drake, Craig McLean. Taylor will be at the tailback, gets the call left side, tries to get to the outside, trying to turn it up and can't quite do it as he gets up across the 30 to the 31. Give him a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. 13 minutes to play here in our ball game, and Drake winning this one 56-0. Following the game, we'll have comments from head coach Rob Ashe as some of the Bulldog faithful looking on here. Notice how they always seem to find the girls.
That's right.
2nd down. Man split right and left. Jules left. McLean handoff, full back up the middle, big hole. Look at him rumbling and stumbling, and Todd Whittam gets up to the 40-yard line for the first down. Boy, he is a workhorse, isn't he, up front?
That's really encouraging for the Bulldogs, for someone like Todd Whittam to get playing time like this with our injury at fullback to our backup fullback. Having Todd get this type of playing time, run well, and what I like, he runs so hard for a big kid that it's a positive for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10, Drake to the 40-yard line. And split right and left. The Bulldogs with 506 total yards offensively in 3 quarters of play. Taylor, 45, and just tripped up as he gets to the 46.5-yard line. Give him a gain of 6.5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
Mick, in the 3rd quarter statistics through 3 quarters for the Bulldogs. Quincy has 2 first downs, Drake 26. Rushing, 19 rushes for 8 yards for Quincy. Drake has 45 rushes for 287. Drake has 219 yards passing, and Quincy 32.
Drake with the football here. 2nd down upcoming. 2nd and 3 is what they're calling it. Whittam the fullback, off left tackle. 1st down inside the 50 of Quincy, and he'll pick up the 1st and 10 for Drake.
As you said, Drake's got 506 yards total offense. Quincy has 62, and time of possession in the 3rd quarter, Drake with 12.5 minutes and Quincy with 2.5 minutes. So again, the domination not only on the scoreboard but also by the statistics for the Bulldogs.
Indeed. Man split left and right. Taylor, the lone tailback here for Craig McLean, the quarterback. Drake leading 56-0 in this one if you just joined us, and Drake is, as you can guess, from the get-go. Taylor gets the call right side, trying to pick his way down inside the 45. A gain of 4 to bring up 2nd and 6. Damon Taylor listed as a 3rd-string tailback here for Drake now, behind Hull and Conlon. Drake 56, Quincy nothing. We're underway in our 4th quarter with 10:49 to play in this football game. At the Quincy 45-yard line, the Bulldog offense with Craig McLean coming up. On 2nd down, Whittam gets the call up the gut. 1st down to the 40, 35, rolls down to the 30-yard line. When you hit him, he's going to get another 5 just on forward progress.
You know, Craig, he's got great speed, too. He really hit the hole quick, came through the line of scrimmage, and he was able to make a big play for the Bulldogs.
There's Spike and company here. Well, I guess they're going to see who we're voting for. Bush? Perot? Spike and Spikes. I guess everybody's liking Spike, huh? Well, that made it a decision. I don't know if he's on the ballot or not. 1st and 10, Drake. Handoff, Whittam, big hole again. 25 down to the 20. Look at him trying to drag him down from behind as he gets down to the 17-yard line. Boy, he's impressing the coach.
Oh,
Taylor, the ball carrier.
Taylor.
I'm sorry. Taylor, the ball carrier. Another 1st and 10 for Drake.
Watch the replay with Damon Taylor. See the 2 pulling tackles right there? Big hole. He again uses his speed. On the pull, we had number 73, Garrett LaFleur, and Chris Martin, I believe, on pulling for the Bulldogs.
Another 1st and 10, Whittam in the backfield, number 44. Here comes McLean and company on 1st down to the 17. Whittam gets the call, left side, splits back up. Nice turn back up as he gets down close to the 10-yard line. Another gain of about 8. That'll bring up 2nd and 2.
Running hard again. The Drake offensive backs, all these freshmen freshman running backs have ran hard in every game we've seen them. And, you know, this could create some problems for the Bulldog coaching staff. What do you do when you have 6 running backs and they're all freshmen for 4 years? I know you try to enjoy it, but you may have some kids turn into linebackers or defensive backs.
On second down, we work our way down to the 9-minute marker in this football game. McClain with a long count. Taylor gets the call up the middle. He gets maybe a yard, maybe not. Going to get a couple of yards. He gets down inside the 10. I was looking at the wrong yard marker. Gets down close to the 7-yard line and close to a first down here. Damon Taylor, the ball carrier. Well, Coach Ash complaining before the last couple of games, not allowed to get many people into the ball games as he would have liked. They are going to call it a first down, so that'll bring up first and goal. The ball resting at the Quincy 7-yard line, and Quincy's defense has been out there a lot here in the second half. Handoff up the middle, and he gets down inside the 5. Whittem again, the ball carrier for Drake.
Well, the Quincy defense has been on the field a lot. The Drake offense has been very conservative in their play calling, trying to run the clock off, try to get the game to hurry up and get over before someone does get injured. The game's been decided since sometime in the first half, and it's just a matter now of time before this game is over.
Second down and goal at the 5-yard line. Quincy, and boy, it's been the linebackers that have had to make the stop here for Quincy, not many of those front guys. Taylor gets the call, and he's down inside the 3, down to the 2, down to the 1-yard line. It'll be third and goal at about the 1-foot line. Damon Taylor, the ball carrier. You know, Jude Jules just brought the play in from the near sideline. If I was him, I would have changed it halfway in. Coach says throw it to me in the end zone.
I was open the last time.
I didn't mean the ball. I don't have a touchdown yet. Taylor gets the call. Well, I thought he got in. They drive him back. They're not going to give it to him. He's down to the 1-inch line.
All right, now what do? You're third down on the 1-inch line. Now it's fourth down, excuse me.
Going to kick it.
Going to kick it.
Field goal.
The fans do disagree, Mick.
Boy, these people are vicious.
They're bloodthirsty. The fans are unhappy on this call.
Second guessing the coach on leading 56-0.
Maybe what we ought to do here is fake it.
Almost jumped offside. Here's the field goal attempt at 17-yard attempt. It's up and good. So continue to, got a penalty flag down. We might have had offside. We'll wait and see who it's against. Now I'm going to go against Drake. Not sure who was jumping around there. Penalty will go against the Bulldogs, and now the Quincy Hawks will decide what they want to do, and I suppose they'll accept the penalty and mark it off. They've decided to take 5 minutes off the scoreboard instead. .6:51 remaining in this football game. Drake led 42-0 at halftime, and now they'll mark off the yardage and move it back to the 5.5-yard line, and Drake will have to kick again. So Bill Willers will stay on for Drake. This time the placement at the 12, it'll be a 22-yard attempt. Or Drake on the field goal. Now the fans can't be as unhappy, see. Here's the placement, the kick, and it's good as well. Well, the Bulldogs continue to rumble as Chad Briley and Jeff Creel and company over on the near sideline talking things over as Drake leads now 59-0. 59 zip here over Quincy, the Hawks, with 6:46 still remaining in this football game. 59-0, and Drake, I'll tell you when things, and Drake really hasn't rolled it up here in this score. It was just name your score day here for the Bulldogs.
Now, you got to be impressed with the coaching staff of Drake showing the class act they are, trying to control the score, not trying to run it up on Quincy, trying to get the game over in a hurry. You know, it's just difficult. It's tough to be play for the Quincy Hawks, and it's tougher to be a Drake Bulldog sometimes when scores like this. This is where people get hurt. This is a tough thing for football players.
And certainly you don't want to see anybody get injured this late in the football game on either side. And
You can't tell your players not to play hard.
yeah, especially when you got kids in there that are trying to fight for a starting spot, trying to impress the coach. And Ray continues to get different people in, but even the second teamers and the reserves taking it on down the field against this Quincy Hawk team has got to be tired, and they just got to be thinking, let me go home. And it's going to be a long ride home to Quincy.
Quincy has recruited 80 freshmen this year on their team. They got 13 freshmen starting. Their program was down. Their new coaching staff is trying to rebuild it. And you're going to have a lot of games like this when you're starting a program like they are trying to build a program back up.
59-0 as the Bulldogs get ready to kick it off once again. This one a high kick. Going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. Return to the 20, 25. And that is it. In there on the stop, Richard Campos, the tackler for Drake, and Quincy will come on their offensive unit with 6:39 to play in this football game.
Well, Mick, when you look at the two programs, what you see is a big difference in the size of the players, but also the speed of the players. Drake is much faster. And as we're seeing in college athletics today, speed kills. Everybody wants the speed player. And Drake has some great speed, even in their interior lineman, and it showed up today.
Indeed. Quincy will be working from their own 27-yard line. The quarterback will be Chip Campbell. And what we've seen a little of him, he's not that bad.
Chip's got completed two passes today for really their two best passes of the day.
Out of the I formation here for Quincy. I think they're missing a guy. How many guys they got out there on the field? They're missing a guy.
Yeah.
They're missing penalty flag coming down, hand off to the tailback. I think they only had 10 guys in the line of scrimmage. I don't think that Noby Gooden was out there, or their other split in. Guy coming onto the field. I think they were one man shy. The quarterback looked out at the left end and there was nobody there.
Yeah, they were. They're one man short. They got 10 on the field.
And the quarterback, Chip Campbell, says, hold it. I'm only missing an end here. Penalty flag is down, as I mentioned here, and it's going to go against Quincy. And they'll mark off 5 yards and to bring up 1st and 15.
Let's see what the call is. Illegal procedure.
6:32 remaining in this one. Drake leading 59-0. Here come the Quincy offense out of the I formation. Man split right, tight left. Pitch back, right side, trying to turn the corner. Not much running room out there for Ron Moore, the freshman tailback. They do have a lot of freshmen in there. And some good size, but just not much speed here for Quincy.
No, not much size, not much speed at all, especially on their offensive line. That time for the Bulldogs, Kevin Tippett made the tackle. Lamar Lindsay was in on the tackle. And so a host of new Bulldogs on the defensive line and linebackers.
Gain of 2, bring up 2nd down and 13. And split left. Flanker goes left, pitch back left side this time. And not much there. Again, the ball carrier was Ron Moore, and he's going to lose some yardage on this.
Yeah, Jonathan Albritton for the Bulldogs, a junior defensive back from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, made the tackle for the Bulldogs and made a very fine play out there on the pitchback.
Loses 3-4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Call it 3rd and 17 as the clock ticks its way down to the 5-minute marker. Quincy again keeping both ends in tight. Flanker right. I think they're just going to try and run things too. Yeah, pitch back right side. Again, Ron Moore getting the call. Ron Moore, excuse me, and he doesn't get anything, and they'll bring up 4th down, the punting situation. Well, Quincy as well would be just as happy if this clock would be one of those that you play in junior high where they let the clock run.
Yes.
But you got to remember, this is a freshman team and a sophomore team, and they're going to get some experience here in a couple of years, and certainly getting some valuable experience today.
They will improve. I mean, it's a team that's already won 2 games. I don't think they're as bad as they've shown today. But the Bulldogs have an outstanding program, and that's what you're running into.
Michael Beeman is the return man here for Drake, standing in his own 42, in over Spiraling kick, and Beeman will let it go and roll inside the 40, and it'll get down inside the 35, down to the 31, and that's where the Drake offensive unit will come back out of the field. If you're wondering, Drake led 42-0 at halftime, and they did leave their first string in for the first series, went down and scored, and then immediately took them out, including Roy Fletcher, who left the ball game 13 of 15 in the air, and the cheerleaders still keeping people fired up here for 216 yards. And what a day. Corey Foster, number 9, has checked into the Bulldog lineup now. Corey Foster, I don't know if we get any stats on him, of course. Or is it Grabansky? I'm sorry, Grabansky. Yeah, Grabansky's going to be in the quarterback.
Jason
and double
Grabansky.
numbers here on number 9. My apologies. And up the right side, we're getting into some double numbers here. We'll try and
Eric Trenner with the carry. Eric, 5'11", 190-pound freshman from Chicago.
Illinois. Jason Grabansky, 193 freshman, 6'2", out of Racine, Wisconsin. And they're at the quarterback slot here for the Bulldogs. Second down and 10. No gain on the carry. 3:39 remaining. Man split left and right. Trap wide, near side, trying to find some running room out there for the Bulldogs. Is Backham, and he gets up across the 35 to the 39-yard line. Going to be shy of the first down and bring up third down to about 3.
Mick, if it doesn't work, we'll throw another freshman running back at you.
Indeed. They're getting a bunch of linemen in there as well, getting some people in, different ends.
A. Backham, a 5'9", 183-pound freshman from Marshalltown.
Jason Buckingham, a sophomore tight end, leaves the ball game as they continue to move people in and out. Everybody seeing action here this afternoon. On third down, long count, and penalty flags down. Oh, nothing there. Penalty flags are down. So with 2:46 to go, we'll see what the penalty is going to be against the Bulldogs. Quincy might refuse this one. They drove him back. Well, as you mentioned, the Bulldogs will take on Illinois. Benedictine on the road next week before returning home here at Drake Stadium, and then on the road for the final game against Evansville. Brings up a fourth down situation. Oh, finally we get the punter out for Drake.
Brian Peck is out there.
Brian Peck, who got out there late, didn't even know they were punting the ball, will finally punt the football. This is the first punt of the football game with 2:30 remaining. You know, I have never seen a game where they didn't have to, and it's blocked. It was a bad snap, and they jump onto the 22-yard line. A bad snap from center. Peck had a tough time handling it, couldn't pick it up, and they blocked the punt.
Oh, that's the first mistake I think we've seen all day by the Bulldogs.
Well, I think you're right. So Quincy's offensive unit out of the field. They're at the Bulldog 22. The only other time they had it in and closer than this was at the 10 on an interception, and then they threw one right back to Drake. So this is the closest they've been to a inline so far. First and 10 of the Bulldog 22. I was going to say, you know, I've never seen a game that you didn't punt the football. Never have seen one. Back to pass. Campbell looking over the top, got his man. Oh, gonna have a penalty flag coming out. Yep, gonna have a face mask. Grabbed him around the face mask. There you saw it just kind of throw it up for Nobi Gooden.
Yeah, inadvertent face mask.
He just kind of reached out and grabbed it. That's going to move me any closer, even closer. Clock stop with 2:16 remaining. 59-0. Need to call his face mask against the Bulldogs. Personal foul. And that is what, the second reception by Nobi Gooden here today?
Yeah, second reception. Watch the replay right here as he goes to catch the ball across him, throws it up right there. Inadvertent face mask by the Bulldogs, number 37, Troy Clark.
Just kind of reached out and grabbed it.
Excuse me, Sean McCarthy.
Got some double numbers here. We're checking the position here because some of these kids we haven't seen all year, and this Sean McCarthy was a linebacker. So that'll bring up first and goal at the 7-yard line. 2 minutes to go in this football game. First and goal at the 7. Back to pass again, and he's in trouble, and it's almost intercepted. Almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Jason Rush. The freshman from Omaha, Nebraska, could have called Mom immediately after this football game and said, Mom, I got an interception. You wouldn't believe it.
I think Jason would have gone all the way. Watch him get hit right as he lets go of the ball. Jason says, no, no. Oh, man.
So it'll bring up second down and goal here at the 7-yard line. With a minute 53 left to play. And they continue to get heat in on the quarterback, this being the case, Chip Campbell, their QB. Out of the shotgun, a high snap from center. This one way, way back. He's scrambling. He throws. It's incomplete. That one, if it would have been caught, would have been a loss of, let's see, 10, 20, 25 yards.
What a play, Mick. What a play. The ball was snapped way over the quarterback's head, and then the quarterback tried to make the pass reception.
Purdue defeating Iowa 27-16 this afternoon.
And if he would have if he would have caught the ball, it would have been a 20-yard loss. Watch the snap from center, way over his head, and then it happens to bounce the other way, picks it up out of desperation, throws it, almost caught for another loss of down. The best thing you do is not catch the ball there.
Third down and goal. Quick set, quick pass over the top to Gooden. Might have interference. Nope, gonna say in. Oh, Gooden arguing the call, but the official out of the scene. I think he said probably they just got their feet tangled up.
Yeah, that was real close.
It was close. That brings up a fourth down and goal at the 7.
And when Drake brings in a bunch of new players.
With a minute 41 remaining. So they're going to go for it, of course, on fourth down. Chip Campbell and company. I look for him to throw it back up over to Gooden again.
Same play, same play.
Going to Gooden, and that's a touchdown. Just threw it up, and you knew they were going to try and go to 22, and nobody Gooden, and he'll get a touchdown to this football game. But boy, they have kept him in hold all day long. He has not been able to even look at the football.
Well, watch the defense. Josh Lerner, who is 5'9", 172 pounds, trying to defend against a 6'4", 220, and he just pushed him out of the way and caught the ball.
Extra point upcoming here with a minute 37 to play. Doc Harris, the freshman kicker, and it is up and good. Makes it a 59-7 ball game here with Drake in control with a minute 37 left to play in this ball game. So the Bulldogs will get a chance to send the return team out.
Let's see who they have back. Let's see if Chad goes back.
That'll be interesting to see who they put back deep. Well, Quincy, by the help of some penalties and some other stuff, taking on down and finally score their first touchdown of this football game.
You know, Mick, the weather has really cooperated this year for fall football. It's a gorgeous day at Drake Stadium today. The fans have been able to see the turning color of the leaves out there. It's been about 70 degrees, very slight wind. It's just been very lucky for all football teams across the state of Iowa as far as football weather.
And the fans have supported them well this year. Well, let's see who's going to be back deep here. Reina's going to be back deep, and he's going to be accompanied along with Hirschberger. As they get ready to kick it off here, kicking off should be Scott Gregory, a senior. He'll do the kicking off duties. Minute 37 is all that remains of this one. There's the boot. Nice high kick. Going to be filled to the far side, coming back out from the 7-yard line. Gets to the 10, reverses Phil running, and he's in trouble. Gets about the 13 and pays the price. So here come the Bulldogs as Rob Ash looking on. And Grabansky will come on again to quarterback this team. And finally a little smile there. Coach Fox had a check. I don't know if Ash has smiled yet.
I don't think you can as a head coach. I think you have to wait to the end of the game.
You have to kind of,
Yeah, you have to growl a little bit.
you can see why after watching Iowa State last week and some other games. Minute 29 is what remains. First and 10 Bulldogs, 59-7 score. Handoff goes near side as they try and find some running room out there for Backham. And the Bulldogs will just try and run this clock out, and they continue to get more people in and out. That poor defensive lineman could have got that interception and called home to mom over to Omaha.
You know, he might even been able to go all the way, you know.
And really, I mean, he would have left the game immediately to call.
That's right.
Second down. We're down to the 1 minute marker. Second down and 9 after a gain of a yard. And off right side. And they're going to pick up 2-3, and that's about it. If you're wondering why Quincy still has a lot of their starters in, they don't have a whole numerous number of players. So
No, it's bad when you're in a game like this, but it's even worse when you're on the road because you don't have a lot of players when you're travel squad. You don't have much more than the first and second team. You got to play a lot of players. Same players that got to play the whole game.
30 seconds to go. You know, we're almost close to the end when they start picking up all the numbers on the sidelines. Third down and 5, 20 seconds. Probably will be the last play from scrimmage here for Drake. Little trap play, goes off left side, and that's about it up to the 25-yard line. And that probably will be the last. Whoop. Must have picked up the first down. He did. As Coach Ash, Coach Fox looking on, and Coach Hadachek. Four seconds, 3 seconds, and that will be the football game. 59-7, the final score. As you can see, Coach Ash still not smiling that much, but 59-7, the final score as the Drake Bulldogs defeat the Quincy Hawks here this afternoon, and they did it all from the get-go. They took command of this football game and did not look back, and they scored all but just one possession there in the first half, only punted one time in the football game. 59-7 the final score. We got an interview with Rob Ash upcoming, and oh, so much more. Don't run away. We'll be back in just a moment.
The dawn of the information age gave new meaning to the expression knowledge is power. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. Of course, Drake isn't all midterms and Macintoshes. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
59-7, the final score. Some of the players out talking with each other here following this football game. Coach Ash, of course, will address the football squad here in the out of the midfield, and then he'll be working his way over to Rob Hill there, and we'll get some comments following this game here with the head coach and the head man himself. 59-7, the final score. The halftime score at 42-0. I talked to the coaches at halftime. Their game plan certainly was to allow the first team to play one series of downs, and indeed they did. They took it on down and scored a touchdown, and then they would pull Roy Fletcher and the rest of the people, and indeed they did. They had all the reserves in there throughout the second half. Certainly didn't want to roll it up against a very young Quincy team. No injuries as well. Didn't want to get any of those, and it was not a case of certainly rolling up the score because of leading 42-0, only scoring 17 points there in the second half and finally winning it 59-7. An impressive football game, one that was a little bit of a surprise. I got to be quite frank, we expected more out of Quincy. We expected more out of their passing game. We expected more out of their pass protection, and they did not have it today. The Bulldogs had pressure on their quarterback all day long, and they had the quarterback in trouble and mostly on his back throughout the afternoon. And certainly defensively, the Bulldogs have to get an A+ here today, offensively as well. And Roy Fletcher, what a ball game. Jamie DeAngelo probably can't wait to get back in here to this football game following this one, because Roy Fletcher impressed the coach here today, hitting 13 of 15 in the air, only threw one interception, threw one miscue today, 216 yards, 3 touchdowns here this afternoon, and a superb performance by Roy Fletcher. We'll take a break. 59-7 the final score. Drake wins it over Quincy. We'll have the head coach coming up here. We'll be back in just a moment.
In tomorrow's college classroom, the keyboard will be as important as the chalkboard. That's why at Drake University, we've designed a new computer-enriched curriculum where students learn faster, create more, and communicate more effectively. It's a challenging, rewarding environment that's given Drake one of the highest placement records in the country. And it's an environment in which students develop strong working relationships with their curriculum, instructors, and computer. Of course, they develop other relationships too. Drake University. For more information, call 1-800-44-DRAKE.
Okay, I can see Rob Ash. He's working his way over there to Rob Hill. There's one of the young hopeful to get in someday. Drake got a chance to play everybody on their roster, and I mean everybody today, winning this ball game 59-7. And what an impressive performance here by the Drake Bulldogs, by Roy Fletcher, Cortez Hull, Donald Sewing. He could go on, and Jeff Creel, Briley. Everybody just played an exceptional football game. The coach has got to be quite pleased here this afternoon with this football game, and Drake, who took command of it early, you knew from the get-go that Drake was going to be able to just kind of put up the score that they liked here today. Well, the head man standing by. Let's see if we can't go down to the sidelines here. Drake football coach Rob Ash with Rob Hill. Let's go down the sidelines.
We're here at halftime, at the end of the game with Coach Ash. Coach, congratulations on the victory, 59-7. I know before the game you said that you wanted to get on these guys early, you wanted to score early, and you had to be pleased with the Bulldog effort.
I was really happy with our start to the football game. We came out, we were very precise, we ran the ball real well. I thought Roy Fletcher was really on his passing game, and we really had a feeling if we could get on them early and get some points ahead and then just let our running game, take its toll, we could keep their offense off the field and get it to our advantage, and the quick start really made a difference.
One of the things you expressed concern about was to get off from a strong standpoint from your offensive and defensive line play. From the press box, it looked like you really dominated on the offensive line play, and defensively, you really were able to put pressure on their quarterback.
I think our quickness on the defensive line was the real issue. I mean, their tackles were trying to set up and pass, and our defensive ends were by them before they could really get a good pad on them. And I think that made a big difference. That quickness is what we've been trying to get in this program. Line people have to be quick in order to be effective, and our guys were very quick today. Offensively, I think the same thing happened. We did a lot of counters, pulled a lot of times. Our line was quick enough to be able to get there and make good blocks at the point of attack. And I thought our young fullbacks and our young fullback Whittam and the young tailbacks really ran well. I mean, a lot of those runs weren't just where they were running through a gaping hole. Although the line got a good hole at the point of attack, they made a lot of yards after the first guy hit them, too.
You had a good game by Roy Fletcher, your freshman quarterback. How important is a game like this to him as building a confidence after last week playing a big, tough Dayton team?
I really wish we could have done this in the other order. If we had to do it, I wish we could have got Roy this game first and then have a week, to prepare for Dayton. The biggest problem we had with the Dayton game was that Roy didn't have a chance to really run the game plan during the Dayton week. He didn't know he was going to be a starter till Thursday, so that really caused us a lot of difficulty. This week, he was a quarterback the whole week. He knew the reads, he knew their coverages very well. I think that helped him make a difference. And it's a different opponent too, but it was a very good confidence builder for Roy. And you can see he's got a great arm.
He certainly does. He threw 13 for 15 for 256 yards and 3 TDs. A great day for him. Now, it gives your program an opportunity to play some young people when you get in a game like this. Were you happy with their play? And I guess were you happy with they were organized enough to run the plays and get out there when they were supposed to?
Well, you can see it, as you go down, it gets a little more helter-skelter there toward the end. But what we tried to do in this game, we've played 8 junior varsity games this year. We've gotten a lot of guys playing time in those JV games, but there's a guy that always gets in a tough spot, and that's the guy that's a backup on the varsity but doesn't play JV. And those are the guys like Todd Whittem, our second-string offensive line, you know, some of those tailbacks who haven't played a lot of JV ball. So we tried to feature those people in the third quarter and the early fourth quarter to let our second-string guys play, because this is really the first time they've gotten any extended playing time, you know, all year. And they should be sharp because they're varsity backups. But a lot of those guys are freshmen and sophomores, and I think it shows that we've got a real good future in the program.
Well, Coach, congratulations. 4-2-1. Next week into Illinois Benedictine, a tough team, a team with good speed and some good skilled people.
Well, you know, Illinois Benedictine played this Quincy team 2 weeks ago, and they scored the first 5 times they had the ball, and it was 35-0 in their game. So, you know, based on what I saw today, I'd say that they're going to be, you know, on a par with our football team. It's going to be an excellent game next week. They have real firepower. Big tight end that's a pro prospect and a great wide receiver, and it's going to have to be a situation where we're going to have to play well. But we're going into it in great shape physically. You know, we didn't get anybody banged up in this game, and if we can keep from falling downstairs and getting injuries during the week in practice, we should go in healthy, and that should make a difference.
Well, good luck in your game next week, and congratulations on the victory. Mick, back up to you.
Thank you, Rob, and 59-7 the final score. They will be on the road next week. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for another game for you on Drake University Television. Hope you enjoyed it. For the rest of the crew, Rick down to the Chuck, Dr. Moon, and the rest of our camera crew. Good job, folks. 29-7 the final. Drake defeating Quincy here this afternoon. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Seven nothing Drake. Later in the quarter, the Bulldogs go to the air. Roy Fletcher throws a bomb to Chad Briley. It's a 66-yard strike. This one got out of hand in a hurry as Drake racks up nearly 600 yards of offense, 59-7 the final. And a couple of Iowa Conference scores. Central took care of Loris.
Cortez Hull capping a drive with his 4-yard touchdown to make it 7-0. Moments later, Drake would go to the air. Roy Fletcher hooking up with Chad Briley for a 66-yard scoring strike as the Bulldogs racked up a 59-7 victory in the Iowa
Last Show with your host, Mick Freer, and Drake University head football coach, Rob Ash. The Rob Ash Show is brought to you in part by Dave Ostrom Mitsubishi, 90th and Hickman in Des Moines.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rob Ash Show. I'm Mick Freer, along with Drake football coach Rob Ash. Coach, convincing win, 59-7 over Quincy. There was some question going into the ball game. Would be the Bulldogs be able to bounce back after a disappointing loss against Dayton? But those questions were answered quickly on Saturday.
We got off to a great start against Quincy, and I was really happy for that because I didn't know how our team would react, Nick. We had lost to Dayton the week before. We had been in an emotional peak for that game and hadn't played as well as we had hoped, and we just said to our team, let's focus on the fundamentals, let's get off to a good start, and we did.
Looking for a high-scoring game, apparently not enough points, said your son. He wanted more.
And my third-grade son, Scott, after the game, he came up to me and he said, Dad, I thought you said that this was going to be a high-scoring game. He thought the other team would have a better offense, but they didn't. Our defense played a great game and shut down what has been a very productive offense up to that point.
If there was any question concerning Roy Fletcher after a Dayton game, those questions were also answered real quick. 13 of 15, 216 yards, 3 touchdowns. What more could you ask out of the kid?
I thought Roy played an excellent game. You know, we grade the tapes every Sunday, and Roy graded out at 96%. He only had 2 plays he was in on where he had anything wrong at all with his assignment. And yeah, he did a super job. He had the whole week to practice. He knew he was going to be the starter all week. He did the game plan all week. And if there's any sign of things to come, it should be real exciting.
Quincy, of course, a team that likes to pass the ball, but certainly they didn't even have an opportunity to get rid of the ball. Your defense had them on their heels.
We were able to do a fundamental thing right in this game, Nick, which is we got pressure with our front 4. We didn't have to blitz to get pressure on the quarterback, and that allowed us to play a lot of people in coverage and still make him hurry his throws. And because of that, it was an easy day. The defense did a good job.
Drake was up 42-0 at halftime, and certainly you weren't going to try and pour it on it by any means. You had a lot of players, got a chance to see everybody that day.
We played over 100 people in this football game. That was real exciting for all the guys on our team. And more important than anything else, Nick, we got a chance to see the number 2 guys. You know, we played a lot of JV JV games this year, and obviously the varsity games, but sometimes those guys who are backups for the varsity, who don't play junior varsity, never get to play anything. And these guys got to play a lot in the game, did a good job.
But this was a game that the tone was set early, and you knew from the get-go exactly what was going to happen.
Well, we knew that's what would have to be the case if we were going to have an easy time of it. We had to get off to a good start. Anytime you're favored, if you let a team stay with you and hang with you, and if you don't come out sharp, it can get ugly. And this game was far from ugly. It might have been our best performance of the year.
Well, it was a good one as the Bulldogs won it big time over Quincy. We'll be back to take a look at the highlights of this game in a moment. Well, Coach, it was a beautiful day for football. A lot of people showed out in support. Let's watch the highlights of this football game.
That was a great day. You know, it was for late October last year. You know, at this time it was about when we had those snowstorms and everything. And instead, it was just a beautiful day for a game. We were glad to be back home, undefeated in the doghouse this year, and it worked out pretty well. Started out, and Quincy won the toss and decided to take the football, which meant they had confidence in their offense. But on their first series, we were able to stop them. There was a nice tackle by Tony Iacobino. Here, good pressure, forcing them to throw the next pass into the ground, and so we got the ball back right away for the first possession. Here's a play-action pass from Roy Fletcher to Jeff Creel. Got us going. That was our second offensive play of the game. And then on this next play, you're going to see our counter, which was our big play of the game. Cortez Hull running behind the lead blocks of Brad Besh and Chad Sexauer. A big game up the middle, again, and free safety had to make the tackle. Don Sowing, fullback, on a sort of a zone play off to the weak side. Our fullback and tailback games, I think, complement each other pretty well in this football game. Here's a pass from Roy Fletcher out to Don Sowing. We sort of had him delay and come out to the outside. We're trying to spread out Quincy in this first drive and give him a lot of different things. We had this whole series program before the game started. 3 times we ran a counter. This is the second time. Cortez this time got through up on the free safety again, untouched. Great blocking up front. And finally on the 3rd time in the drive, 12th play in the drive, Cortez just powers it into the end zone. And here we get the touchdown on our first possession.
Great second effort.
Yeah, it was really a good second effort by Cortez. Great blocking up front. 3 times we ran the play, got everything set up for us on that possession. And we really had been conscious of trying to get off to a good start. We programmed that whole series. We had some good passes designed to get Roy off to a good start. And our defense continued to play well. Kevin Beveridge and Craig Ortworth were just too quick on the perimeter for the Quincy defenders. Here's Ortworth again, and Beveridge again coming from the outside in, getting the sacks and getting the pressure on the Quincy passing game. They like to spread you out and get 4 and 5 receivers. That's fine, except you've got to be able to protect. Now we faked that same play we had run 3 times. We ran a play action on our first play of our second series, and Chad Briley, breakaway Briley they're calling him. Here's a replay. Notice we faked the same play to Cortez Hull. Everybody was fooled. Fletcher with a beautiful pass hit Chad right in stride. He was able to take it. You know, nobody's going to catch him if he gets out in front. So that was the first play of our second possession. It gave us a quick 14-0 lead, and we really at that point we had Quincy in a state of shock. I think they thought they would get into a scoring battle, but they had been unable to move the football at all. We had it twice and were able to get the 2 touchdowns right away. Everybody was in a good mood, and it was a sign of things to come throughout the rest of the game. We got the ball back right away from our defense and drove again. This is Matt Conlon. We rotated a lot of people in. Look at Matt's continued good effort here, trying to get ahead and get extra yards. All 3 of our freshman tailbacks did an excellent job in this game. Here's Matt again on that same counter play that worked well, breaking 2 or 3 tackles and getting up the field. The competition between our tailbacks now, those 3 freshmen, is very intense. All 3 guys are playing extremely hard. It's a very positive thing for a football team to have that kind of competition going on. Here's a nice pass from Fletcher to Jeff Creel. They had an underneath man-to-man coverage, but they tried to switch. 2 guys ended up picking 1 receiver, and Jeff was wide open and got him on that pass. And then Roy was able to fake the run and throw to Jeff Creel. This is a play we've used in 3 consecutive games for touchdowns now, and it's been very effective. Roy was under heavy pressure that time and got the ball off just before he was decked, but he got the ball away, and Creel always seems to get open on that play, and that gave us 3 touchdowns in our first 3 possessions. Continuing on with second quarter action here, this is a long pass down the sideline. Mark Simon actually made this interception, but got knocked out of bounds. Apparently, I talked to the supervisor of officials here at noon on Monday. He said the pros give you credit if you get knocked out, but in college you have to land inbounds, so that was the right ruling. We did not get that interception, so they punted the ball. Chad couldn't decide whether to pick it up or not, and ended up not making a very good decision there. The ball might have rolled in the end zone. Even if it hadn't rolled in, the worst thing could have happened would have been for us to get pinned deep. And here's one of Roy's few mistakes on the game. He threw an interception down deep in our own territory. And here's a key part of the game. I mean, it's 21-0, but this is a way for a team to get back in the game quick. We'll show you this series. First of all, they tried to hit Noby Gooden, their best receiver, but Brad Nemec breaks up the pass. On second down, we bring a little pressure, and Todd DeMoss, Matt Garvis, and Ortworth are all able there to knock the quarterback down. Then on third down, they're going to pass here to the left. We've got a couple receivers out there. It's all jammed up. It went off one of the guy's hands, and Mark Simon picked up the deflection. And that touchback gave us the ball in the 20, prevented a field goal try for them, preserved the shutout, most importantly of all, kept Quincy down in the dumps. And that was a very, very big defensive effort for our football team to take that situation where we had the turnover and not let Quincy get any points. We came right back. Fletcher hits Creel with a quick pass on first down. Now watch this. Good pressure by Quincy, but Fletcher finds Chad Briley on the crossing route. And Chad, like he always seems to do, turns a short play into a big one. I think he gained like 40-some yards on that play down the sideline. Then we were able to start mixing up the running game again because we had some breathing room. That was Don Soling on the trap. Here's a fake on the counter play. Fletcher rolls out and hits the tight end, Don Bowman, for the first down. Keeping it going, trying to use the run and the mixture of the play fakes. And then we handed off to Cortez Hull on a cutback play, and Cortez had the benefit again of a big hole by the line, but he's quick hitting the holes, and that's important too, and got through for the 28-0 lead. That was a great turnaround, 80-yard drive after we had just had a turnover. The defense sparked us, got us going. Obviously now things we feel that we're pretty much in control. Defense continued to play excellent ball here in the second quarter. Ortworth sacked the quarterback. They called that a pass. They would have had the ball in any event. I thought Craig got there before he threw it. And then they tried the quick pass, and Steve Tennell dropped into coverage and picked it off. Good job there by Steve. They thought they would get him out of the way with the inside receiver. He just stayed in his zone and made the interception. We got the ball in good shape. Fletcher hits Sean Diggs on a pinpoint pass there out against a two-deep coverage to get us started. Now we've got the trap. Number 44 is Todd Whittam. He's a freshman fullback from Ottumwa, getting his first real playing time as a varsity player. Here he is on the off-tackle play, just barging in for the touchdown. So we were able to take the turnover and take it right in for the touchdown. It was nice to see Todd Whittam get a chance to go some because we like to play two fullbacks. Mike Stanfield's been injured. Again, pressure. You can see every time they dropped back to pass, we were in on them. We had tried to block the first couple of punts, and so this time we put the return on. It turned out to be a good decision. Chad Briley takes the punt. You're going to see a great job here. He makes two guys miss. Good block from Todd DeMoss. Good block from Brad Nemec. Chad makes another guy miss, and again, when he gets out in the open, his speed is just too much for these people that are chasing. Another big touchdown for Chad. He's only had 3 plays over 40 yards now in the game already in the first half. And that really broke Quincy's back at that point, 42-0. And there's just nothing they could do. Even when, even on the punt, they weren't able to stop us. So that made it very, very difficult for them. Still a little bit of action left here in the second quarter. Yet another good play or two by the defense. Look at this pursuit. 4 guys coming up at the line of scrimmage to make the hit. And now they're going to go with a quick pass again. And the other alley player, Joe Bianchi, on the other side of the formation, plays the same kind of position that Tennell does. So when they wanted to throw quickly, they couldn't because our alley players were making these interceptions, but they couldn't keep the ball in the pocket for very long because we had the good pressure. So went into half pretty much having it our way, 42-0 there at the halftime. I'm not sure I've ever had that big a lead at the half. I didn't quite know what to say, but what we did decide to do was come out in the second half and play the starters for one more series just to make sure that we got the tempo established the right way. Roy Fletcher hit Chad Briley on sort of a free play. They jumped off sides. He could have thrown an interception there and it wouldn't have been a problem, but he got the good play. We got about a 20-yard gain there to Briley. Then we ran an off tackle here, and Cortez Hull makes the guy miss. Good cut there, past the block by Sean Diggs. He gets another 20 yards or so. Again, this is excellent because at 42-0, you might think you're going to come out flat. But instead, our offense came out, really did a nice job. Here's Don Soling running hard off tackle. He gets about 8 or 10 yards, and we're picking up right where we left off. Here's the counter play again. Cortez jumping over people, making people miss. Good blocking up front. I think he gained 15 yards or so on this one. Ran a couple more plays. Cortez up the middle, down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. And then we ran play fake off that same play. And then Fletcher rolls out and finds Don Bowman in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Great drive, nice mixture of run and pass, fullback, tailback, lots of different receivers. The line does a good job of opening up the holes, and that really got us off to the start in the second half that we needed, gave us another touchdown, but more importantly, got the tempo established and took away any chance for a comeback. Number 99 again, Craig Ortworth pretty much had it his way all day. Got the big sack, 11-yard loss, and that's on Quincy's second play of the second half. And from this point on, we started getting some people in the football game. This is Matt Conlon. Again, we're using all three of these freshman tailbacks, giving them a lot of chance to run. Here's Whittam again, freshman fullback. He's a horse. He's a freshman. He's only about 215 pounds or so. I'd hate to run into him back there at the free safety position. Matt Conlon, number 30, lost an ear pad out of his helmet, but held on to the football. That's the main thing. Here's Damon Taylor. He came in. I thought Damon was in on this play, but they only gave it to him down to the 1, so we gave it to the Diesel. That's what the players call Whittam. They call him the Diesel. He got it in for a touchdown. I mean, this was the next drive. First two drives of the second half, and on that particular drive that we just watched, we're just running the football. We're not throwing the ball hardly at all. Starting to get a lot of the number 2s in, the guys that have been the backups all year long, that have not had a lot of chances to play, and it was a very devastating effort on the part of our offensive team. Defense continued to play well. Here's a nice interception by another freshman, Darren Book. Darren's brother plays for the University of Iowa, and we were real happy to get him. He's Greg Gerlach's backup at free safety. He hasn't had a lot of playing time. He's going to be an excellent free safety for us. Nice interception for him. There's the Diesel again, running through these people downtown. Now again, this is just running the football. We had 2 fullback plays and 2 tailback plays, and we just ran them back and forth. Damon Taylor was an excellent run, excellent cut there. Yeah, the defensive back thought he had him. Damon made him miss. He didn't even get a hand on him. We got down, and that drive ended in a Bill Willer's field goal. So it was an exciting day for us. We got an awful lot of people in the game. Over 100 players got a chance to play. We did have some problems at the end. We got a punt blocked. I think the cheerleaders were worn out there, weren't they, from all the push-ups they were doing. Kevin Gundy from Clancy, he's got a young team. They're just building. He's only been there 2 years. And I'm telling him, hey, just hang in it. You got to get 4 years together before you can really judge your program. And that's, where we are now. We're fortunate. We've been able to get 4 years of recruiting put together, and I'm real happy with where the team is. That was a great day for us.
Indeed it was. 59-7, time for our Christopher's Scoreboard Show. Christopher's Restaurant, a tradition in Des Moines for 30 years. Christopher's features fresh pastas, aged Iowa beef, and fresh seafood. Its lounge is a great place to have a pizza and watch the game or the Rob A. Show.
Look at the statistics here, Nick. I don't think I've ever had as dominating an effort by a football team. First downs, 32-5. Look at the rushing. They had 3 yards rushing in this football game. And 59 passing for 62 total yards compared to almost 600 total yards for us. It wasn't just a blowout by the score. It was just totally dominating effort by yards as well. And possession time, almost 2-1. And their guys were very, very worn out at the end of the game, on defense especially. Leading tacklers, you don't have as many guys making as many tackles because they didn't run very many plays. But Matt Garvis had an excellent game as a linebacker, redshirt freshman for us. Beveridge and Ortworth, of course, had a great game too. Todd Whittam was our leading rusher. Cortez, 2 freshmen with almost 100 yards rushing. And, of course, Creel and Briley. Creel having more catches, but Chad always seems to make the big plays.
Coach, what a great confidence builder type of ball game. It's too bad you couldn't have played this one before Dayton, got all that confidence in, and the experience for Roy Fletcher and the rest of them.
Well, wherever it comes, we'll take it. But you're right. Especially for Roy Fletcher, it would have been good to have a game under his belt, to feel the way he can lead the team. But we take them the way they come, and I'm happy we got back on track now, because this will give us a chance to finish the season in good shape if we can keep it up.
We'll be back to name our players of the game, but first we need to name a few folks that make this show possible.
To make a great Sunday brunch, start with a great view. Add something colorful and healthy. And don't forget to add something a little sinful. Add something steamy and delicious and really pile it on. Then make sure you add the right stuff, like good friends. Sunday morning at the Capitol View Dining Room. Brunch at the Best Western Starlight Village downtown once, and you'll be back for more.
Welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Coach, it's time to name our Dave Oster Mitsubishi players of the game. Offensively, defensively, the whole team, or you going to select some?
A lot of good players and a lot of outstanding performances in the game. But offensively, we decided to go with Roy Fletcher. Roy making his first start where he knew he was going to be the starting quarterback during the week, and 13 for 15 in the game, passing 96% grade on his overall grade for the game. I thought he did a great job. He led the team extremely well. He's only in his first year of competition. Since high school, he redshirted last year, and I thought he just played extremely well. Craig Ortworth also had an outstanding game. They really had difficulty blocking Craig all day. He's a sophomore, does a super job for us, and there were a lot of great defensive efforts in the game, but Craig was probably the most dominating one out of that group. So two young guys have only been in our program 2 years as our players of the week.
Also, another kid that played really well is Mark Simons. He's going to be our home team pizza player interview, and this kid had what I thought was going to have a tough day, and it didn't end up that way. It was.
Mark rises to the occasion. We usually put him on the best receiver for the opposing team. In this case, it was Nobi Gooden, who's 6'4", and he's 220, has a 35-inch vertical. And you look at Mark Simon and Nobi, and you say, hey, there's no contest. But it was no contest, but it was Mark that dominated. He did a good job. Now, we also covered Nobi with some other people and gave some help in terms of bumping him at the line of scrimmage. But, Mark's always been able to rise to the occasion. He's probably the best practice player that I've ever had in my program. He's always 100% effort, one of those overachiever type guys, and he's developed into just a fantastic coverage guy, great leader on the football team. Not exactly the most outspoken or talkative guy, but we wanted to get him on the interview and have him on the program, so we'll see what Mark has to say.
The Rob Ash Player Profile is brought to you by Home Team Pizza.
As far as being a captain, I've tried to put it aside more when I'm on the field. I've tried not to think about it too much and just try to play and practice the way I have in the past throughout my freshman, sophomore, and junior seasons, and just kind of let things go the way they have. And if I feel that we need something to be picked up, then I might cut in, but I basically just tried to have the same role I had throughout my previous years. I came here and I wasn't sure exactly my major. I thought I might want to go into biology or psychology. I decided on biology, and I'll be graduating this May, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with it. Actually, I haven't thought too much about it. I got the nickname Junior my freshman year here. One of the assistant coaches thought I looked like another cornerback who was then a junior, and he started calling me Junior, that I looked like his little brother, and it just kind of stuck. Without a chance to go to the playoffs, it makes it a little, or you hear people saying that it makes it a little more difficult to motivate yourself. I personally haven't found that coming from a high school that was never really in a playoff hunt. Pretty much had to just get up for every game just to play the game. I think that's just how people here look at it. They just look at it as, in one season you only have 10 games and 10 times to really get after it. And playing with this group of seniors has been fun and exciting. It's a little different because there's not anyone else to look up to. Everyone's looking up to you. But being with these guys for 4 years, it's just been fun and exciting and having a great time.
Hi, this is Tom Baldwin, owner of Home Team Pizza. That's the only place you can get Des Moines Super Large or Large, that fantastic 16-inch pizza. You already know we make our dough every day from scratch, and so it's the freshest anywhere. And you already know we guarantee delivery in 30 minutes or you get your pizza free. But believe it or not, there's still some people that don't know that our larger large pizza with single topping is only $7.99, and it's absolutely delicious. So call Home Team Pizza right now for your larger large.
When the
delivery time of gasoline, diesel fuel, and motor oil supplies is crucial to Iowa industry. Timely personal service and quality Conoco products at an affordable price that service professionals and their customers can depend on. Parker Oil Company of Des Moines, Iowa.
The creators of the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, 1991 Motor Trend Import Car of the Year, proudly present the stunning new Mitsubishi Eclipse from 1992. Because nothing livens up a family like a little sibling rivalry. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
Welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Before we take a look at the upcoming opponent for the Drake Bulldogs, Illinois Benedictine, we would like to remind you about the Hopkins Sporting Good Weekly Drawing. And don't forget, it's worth $25, a nice gift certificate. Just send name, phone number, and name of this week's player interview to the Rob A. Show, Drake University Fieldhouse, Des Moines, Iowa, 50311. Coach, you want to give him a little hint on the name of the player?
Mark Simon this week.
Write that one down.
Write it down, send it in.
Let's talk about this week's upcoming game. You're going to be on the road. The Drake Bulldogs travel over to Illinois Benedictine. You had three common opponents. Ben, why don't you talk about that?
Well, Illinois Benedictine has wins over Milliken and Quincy, and they have a loss to Aurora. And we have wins over Milliken and Quincy and a loss to Aurora. So we're pretty evenly matched teams. Benedictine's had a great year. They're 6-2, much better than people thought they would be this year.
They like to pass the ball as well?
Oh, they're one of the top passing teams in the country. I haven't seen this week's statistics, but I know they were in the top 5 in the nation going into the game against Aurora on last Saturday. So they really passed the football, and they've got some tremendous threats.
One threat I think the Bulldogs are able to do when you go up against a passing team is certainly get a lot of pressure on the passer, not allow him to stand back there and find his receivers. And you got to give a lot of credit to that defensive line. My goodness, the pressure they're putting on.
We've got to be able to continue to do that, Nick. The defensive line has to get pressure on IBC so that we can, stop their passing game before it gets started. What I anticipate that they'll do, though, is that they'll probably pack it in more, double some guys like Ortworth and see if they can get the ball one-on-one to Eric Green or Bob McMillan. They have two great receivers in those two young men.
And certainly you as well. I was looking at the statistics. You're pretty average on both passing and running. Everything's pretty much evened up there.
We're more balanced, and I think if there's an advantage in the game that we have is that we should be able to run the football maybe a little better than IBC. I hope so, because quite honestly, how I'm planning to play this game is to try to possess the ball, play ball control with our offensive football team.
I never really thought about it until you mentioned it earlier that certainly one of the pluses for the Bulldogs right now, those tough games you played early seem to be paying off at this point for you.
I think the caliber of our competition is paying off. I think it really paid off for us against Quincy. We had played tough teams week in and week out, and it was really evident when we went up against Quincy that we were used to playing tough teams and used to having a high level every week. I hope that'll pay off next week, too.
Talking about competition, you got some great competition right now at tailback. We saw 3 of them there. You have all kinds of backs. Where'd they all come from?
Well, we had a very good recruiting year, and it was exciting to look out on the field and see Roy Fletcher, who's in his freshman year of eligibility, and then to see 3 true freshmen at tailback and a true freshman at fullback with Todd Whittam doing such a good job. And there's other freshmen and sophomores on his football team. Craig Ortworth, we've said his name all year. He's only a sophomore. Matt Garvis is in his freshman year of eligibility. And not to criticize, downgrade, whatever, the upperclassmen. They've been playing well, too. We always have a tendency maybe to focus on the youth, but our upperclassmen have been complemented by a talented group of freshmen, and the upperclassmen have led by great example and showed the young guys how to play the game, and that's made a nice mix on this football team.
One of your goals, as you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, was to go undefeated the rest of the year. You're still on that march right now.
I hope we can do that. If we can finish out the season, we'll end up with the best record in Division III history at Drake. It's going to be a tough challenge. We have to go on the road. We haven't won a game yet on the road this year, and we've got to prove we can do that against a very talented Illinois Benedictine football team, and this is the one really that'll help us get over the hump.
High-scoring game?
I think it will be. I hope we can score high, and I hope our defense holds them down. That's how it went last week. Maybe that'll happen again.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you back here next week on the Rob A. Show.
last show is brought to you in part by Dave Ostrom Mitsubishi, 90th and Hickman in Des Moines.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rob Ash Show. I'm Mick True, along with Drake football coach Rob Ash. And, Coach, last week we talked about what should have been a good ball game against Illinois Benedictine, but 59-7. It was all Bulldogs on Saturday.
That was our best performance of the year by far, Nick. Our defense went out and shut down the 6th-rated offensive team in the country, holding them about 300 yards below their average. We shut out Eric Green, who had 66 catches coming into the game. He didn't even have a catch in the game, and they set us up for a great day.
Certainly started out right at the beginning of the ball game. They drove down to the 20-yard line. You took the ball, went down and scored. Your punter never came off the bench. The game was over early, it looked like.
We got on them in a big hurry, Nick, which was really important because a year ago we had won, decisively about 55-8 or something, and we felt if we could get a good start and let them start remembering last year's game, that it would be to our advantage. And the defense did a great job stopping that first drive and getting us started.
Mr. Fletcher stepped in again this week, 4 touchdown passes. That's the school record, I believe.
That ties a record, but more important than that, he did a great job just running the football team. He made the right choices at the line of scrimmage. He got the running game going. His play faking was good as well as the passing, and it was a pretty good team effort.
We're seeing some different people here for the Bulldogs since the start of the season. Of course, we talked about Fletcher. Cortez Hull, he continues to ramble for yards. What's he averaging? 7 yards per carry right now?
The last 2 games, Cortez has had a lot of big plays for us, and Matt Conlon, another freshman, has really come on here lately. We were laughing about this the other day, Nick. About 10 days before our Simpson game, the 2 top guys, the guys that were slated to be the starters for Simpson were Cortez Hull and Matt Conlon. Then due to injuries, we got Damon Taylor in there. He did a good job and so forth. A lot of guys have done a good job, but it's ironic that now finally come back here the same 2 guys that at the beginning of the season were supposed to be in there.
Certainly when we sit here, I thought maybe we'd talk about offense, but you got to talk about defense. Second week in a row, you had to meet up with a top receiver in a football game, and this guy wasn't even in the game.
Well, we were able to take Eric Green out of the game with our pass rush. Most of the routes that Illinois Benedictine wanted to throw to him took a while to develop, and they didn't have the time to throw. So they were left with just trying to throw the quick passes to their big tight end, Bob McMillan, and Greg Gerlach shut him down beautifully.
Well, we have some exciting highlights of this football game upcoming. I think you'll enjoy them. We'll be back in just a moment. Coach Todd Kim, who was doing the radio broadcast in that football game, told me that it looked like the Bulldogs intimidated Illinois Benedictine. You think the Bulldogs are starting to do that to some teams?
We play a very physical game, Nick, and we are very, very conscious in our program of making sure that all of our aggressiveness and contact and everything else comes during the play. Some teams try to be tough after the play or talking or whatever. And we try to teach our team not to talk and not to try to play after the whistle. You got to be good enough to get your licks in during the play. And I think we did that. We really were very physical and aggressive. Our receivers and DBs are very hard hitting, and linemen up front have always been good. I think that's true to a certain extent. We brought the game to them.
Well, we got a lot of highlights to show you, so let's get at it here for the Bulldogs. Again, 59-7, Drake a winner. It was kind of a cold day, though.
Cold and very windy in Lisle, Illinois. A beautiful facility that the Benedictine monks had there about 100 years ago, and with the academy and also the college. Illinois Benedictine had the ball first. There's Bob McMillan, number 88, the big tight end, taking a reception on the first drive of the game. He's a very intimidating big receiver. Here's another play to him. Greg Gerlach, number 15, was matched up with McMillan in man-to-man coverage. Did a great job. Here's 3 times now in this first drive they go to McMillan. Gerlach's there on him all 3 times, but they continue to move down the field. Finally, they split him out, and that put Brad Nemec on McMillan. They tried to hit him for the touchdown, and Brad Nemec, number 23, did a great job of stripping the ball away from McMillan. And then they went with a different formation, and Matt Garvis got the good pressure up the middle and gave us got a chance to hold them to the field goal. Luckily, when their field goal kicker came out, it was wide left, and we got out of that first drive with no points. That was a great stop by our defense, and the secondary did a good job and good pressure on it. We got the ball back, of course, after the missed field goal. Roy Fletcher hits Chad Briley on 3rd and 4 to convert our first 3rd down situation of the game. And we've got Don Sowing running off tackle. Great job up front by the line, getting him a crease, and Don did a good job just with a powerful run off tackle. Then that gave us another first down. Then on the first down play here, we hit Cortez Hull up the middle. We caught him in a stunt. There was nobody there to pick him off, and Cortez turned on great speed and was able to take it all the way for a touchdown. That had to be a devastating start for Illinois Benedictine because they had taken a long time to drive down the field. They missed the field goal, then in 4 or 5 plays, we had the touchdown. Now watch this. They tried that same play to McMillan, and he tapped it around, and Greg Gerlach intercepted the ball. again, this matchup going back and forth, and Greg certainly won that round and got the interception. Gave us the ball on their side of the 50. We ran with a quick pass here to Sean Diggs, getting us going again, trying to keep them wide and loose so we could run the football. Here's Cortez Hull off tackle, almost broke that one all the way, but he got tripped up, and still a good surge by the offensive line. Now play action pass. Roy starts to come out of the pocket, but he finds Chad Briley down inside the 5 for a big first down there. That gave us the ball first and goal, and we ran Cortez Hull off tackle. Illinois Benedictine didn't get lined up right. There was no defensive end in on the play, so it made us a very simple touchdown, and that made it 14-0. Again, the defensive turnover set up that drive. Greg Gerlach on the interception. There's his dad right there in the ball hat watching the game. The officials were a little concerned because there was some talking back and forth. We got back at it again. Good pressure here by Craig Ortworth. Look at the strength pulling down. You'll see number 21, Eric Green, was coming across the field. They wanted to get the ball to him, but Ortworth got there too quickly. In addition to that, there was holding on IBC, moving them way back. Then they fumbled. You see the ball rolling on the ground there, and Steve Tenold, number 56, on the left side of the pile down there, came up with the recovery. And that gave us the ball in fantastic field position, clear down inside the IBC 20. We were able, after the turnover, ran the ball a couple times. Got Mike Stanfield in there, Matt Conlon. On third down, Roy steps up in the pocket and finds Chad Briley over the middle again. Chad gets away from the free safety and got the touchdown. Now that was the pressure again. Both inside linebackers came and a strong safety, and we were able to block their stunt and give Roy all that time to throw. And anytime you can do that, you're going to have a big play. Here's another good stunt. Kevin Beveridge right in, untouched, able to make the sack. They were trying to get the ball to Green again, and the pressure there on the stunt. We got to the quarterback before he had any chance at all to get the play started. So defense got the ball back for us. Now we're getting into second quarter action. Here's Matt Conlon, number 30. We rotated Conlon and Hull the whole day. They're the only two tailbacks we had on the trip because Damon Taylor is still injured. And so Matt got a good run, and then Mike Stanfield, who's been out a couple of weeks with an injury, was back. Mike had a good run on the same play that we had with Don Soling earlier. So good balance, using a lot of people. Now we fake the play to Cortez, and here's Roy keeping the football and running around the end. When we got out there was nobody there. Jeff Creel and Jeff Brager both got good blocks, and I think nobody was more surprised than Roy Fletcher. And so to show you, they will show you again. Look at the good fake to Matt Conlon, I think it was, on this particular play. He actually got tackled, and 8 Illinois Benedictine players went in on the run fake. And there were 3 guys left. Brager and Creel blocked 2 of them. Roy made the other one miss. I guess he thinks he's Jamie D'Angelo. I don't know. Everybody was real happy about that. And I'll tell you, that was great. That really gave our team a spark. Everybody was excited for Roy. He's not known to be a really fast guy on the team or anything, and he was able to make the play. There's some of the Drake fans. We had a great group of fans, parents, coaches' wives, and some people from the Chicago area. Look at this. They went back to McMillan again. Right next play, Greg Gerlach intercepted. They really wanted to go to him, and 2 times in a row, Gerlach's not only stopped the play, but picked it off. That was the last time they tried that play in the game. Greg, a senior, just a fantastic performance to be able to shut down a great receiver like McMillan. Very intimidating for them that he can do that. So we got the ball once again in great field position with the 2 interceptions and the fumble. We've had the ball on their side of the 50 3 times. Sean Diggs takes that short pass. Here's Don Soling breaking some tackles, running hard up through the middle. You see our guys continuing to play hard through the whistle, blocking at the ends of these plays. That's what makes our team tough. We keep working hard. Here's Cortez Hull with a strong run. First guy that tackles our running backs, all of them, has a hard time bringing them down. They do a nice job, and our line has been opening up some big holes to get us to that second level. And here's a quick slant to Jeff Creel. Jeff got the touchdown. He does a dumb thing here. He tried to taunt the defensive back. That cost us 15 yards, but he had a little trouble with that guy during the course of the game. And I can understand why he did that, but we always tell guys you got to want to do something like that and know enough not to. So I'm a little upset with Jeff for that, but it was a great catch for the touchdown. And the defense came right back and kept up the intensity. Steve Tenold and Steve Flattery on the tackle there. Now watch out there. You'll see from left to right, here comes Matt Garvis on the pressure. They wanted to go to Eric Green on one of their favorite sprint out routes, but there was no place for the quarterback to sprint to. And we got the ball back one more time. Matt Conlon with a good hard run. It's still in the second quarter. It's 35-0. Conlon with another good run here off tackle. Watch him. Good move there. And yet another good move, making a guy miss. Good job getting what we call plus yardage after the first player on the defense gets up there. And then Roy drops back, scrambles around a little bit, and finds Don Bowman down the seam. Don breaks the tackle, takes it in for the touchdown. It just seemed like everything went right. It was one of those days where, you know, lots of different people were getting a turn to play, and lots of people were making plays. You know, there's no substitute for that kind of balance. And so it was 42-0 going into the halftime. And Drake fans were happy, but it made it a little tough, you know, because now you've got the whole second half to play. You want to make sure you keep the troops motivated and so forth in the second half of the football game. But our defense did a good job. Here's some plays from the second half. Art Rainier, number 49, and Jason Conway stopping the screen pass by getting their hands up, and it was a good show. In fact, we got a lot of our reserve guys in the second quarter. Reserves being second string type people. Here's the first play actually in the second half. Chad Briley catches a short pass but fumbles. Luckily, Chad was quick enough to get it back and kept the drive alive. That could have given Illinois Benedictine a spark. But unfortunately for them, he got it back. Roy ran that same keeper play that he had run for a touchdown. They were on to him, but now the pass was open. He did a good job executing that play to Jeff Brager. Here's a fake in the line and the pass to Jeff Creel. Beautifully executed play. We've run that play 2 or 3 times for touchdowns. That was our first drive of the second half. We picked up right where we left off. Got the 49-0 lead. Now at this point, we're able to start working some people in the game. One of the problems you have is you only take about 2 deep on a road trip like this. You know, your first and second string, you don't have anybody else to put in the game. So a lot of the guys played quite a bit in this football game. Here's next time we got the ball back, we hit Creel again. Good block by Briley there at the top of the screen. Driving down again. It's still early in the third quarter, which is why we still have these people on the field. For example, at our flanker position, as you see Chad Briley running with the football, being real determined, hard to bring down. The only guys we had at IBC to play that position were Briley and Diggs. There was a wedding, I guess, earlier in the day, and that was the wedding reception. That was pretty interesting. And there's Matt Conlon taking this ball in for the touchdown. This made it 56, I think, to nothing. I kind of lost track here, but again, 56-6 by this time in the fourth quarter. Again, it was difficult because I only got 2 tailbacks, 2 wide receivers, and we only had 2 deep on the defense, but we did get everybody in the football game. Here's most of our number 2s in the defensive line. Art Rainier with good pressure again, causing their quarterback to throw the ball away. We got the ball back in good field position. Now this was interesting at the end of the game. Watch the official there. We're going to fake to the tailback, but he steps up in a pile and blows his whistle. He thinks the fake was so good by Craig McClain, our reserve quarterback, that the official thought that the ball had been handed off. He blew the whistle dead. So we got a free play. We did the play over again. We even fooled the radio team. They thought there were 5 downs here in this sequence, but really it was the 4th down because they replayed the down where the official blew the whistle. And that gave us a chance for Bill Willers to come in and kick a field goal on 4th down. The last couple flurries here in the fourth quarter, Craig McClain, freshman quarterback, has done a nice job on our JV team, and he's our backup now. Since Jamie D'Angelo's been hurt, he ran that same play Roy had run earlier. And here's Matt Conlon with the second string line doing a great job blocking. He makes a nice break outside, trips over the 30-yard line there. But that was one of the last few plays of the game. It was a nice run, good effort by all of our guys on our team. Everybody got to play except our punter. He didn't get a chance to play in the game because we didn't punt a single time the entire football game.
Coach, I know you expected a little more offensively out of Illinois Benedictine with their stats going into the game.
Well, Illinois Benedictine was averaging 450 yards a game in offense, and we held them to 115 yards, and that's just a fantastic performance. Our defense just never let them get started, and it really had to be a great shock to Illinois Benedictine to have that kind of thing happen because they had such a great offensive year.
Let's move on to our Christopher's Restaurant scoreboard here. Christopher's Restaurant, a tradition in Des Moines for 30 years. Christopher's features fresh pastas, aged Iowa beef, and fresh seafood. Its lounge is a great place to have a pizza and watch the game or the Rob A show. You might expect all the stats in one favor.
Oh boy, you won't ever see stats that are more one-sided than these. Total offense down there, 3 lines from the bottom. You'll see 564 yards for Drake, only 115 for IBC. Possession time was very one-sided as well. 29 first downs to 5. Great job overall. Here's the individual leaders. You won't see a lot of high tackle numbers for our defensive guys because Illinois Benedictine only ran 41 plays in the game. We had 76 plays. Cortez Hull and Matt Conlon both had 100 yards rushing. That's great for 2 freshmen. Creel and Briley, again, are our top receivers.
And we'll be back to name our players of the game right after this. Coach, I know in a game like this, it's awfully tough to name one or two players that played better than anybody else, but you got to do it. Time for our Dave Osprey Mitsubishi Players of the Game. You got to name them.
Well, we had an awful lot of guys who got the headlines, so we decided to go with Brad Besh, one of the offensive linemen, because they don't get the headlines. Our line has done a great job all year. Brad had the highest grade of any of the linemen this week in this game, and he's a four-year starter, been a great motivating force and a very solid football player for us all year long. Did an excellent job. Defensively, of course, Greg Gerlach has to be the selection because of the way he handled Bob McMillan, the great tight end. You know, McMillan got some catches, but Greg got some too. 2 interceptions, did a great job, and he also kept us organized in that secondary, as he always does, on blitz pickups and checks and so forth, and he did a great job.
Let's move on to our home team player interview. Tony Iacobino, what a tough kid. I like this kid.
Tony is a very, very inspirational guy to have on the team. You know, he's a linebacker for us. When he started out in the program, he was a nose guard, and he played a lot of different positions, but he's found a home at linebacker. He's one of the guys that keeps the team loose. I'm not sure what he's going to say in his interview, but I'm sure it's going to be interesting. So we'll hear from Tony.
The Rob Ash Player Profile is brought to you by Home Team Pizza.
Lifting is obviously it's essential, and it's probably the best thing, you know, as far as outside of practice that you can do for football. That's the one thing that's kept me going. I am not a huge player. I'm a typical Division III size player, but for linebacker, being strong is everything. And quick and strong, that's where it's got to be. And I've really worked myself hard in the off season, every off season, and I've gotten stronger every year. And with my bench and my squat, that's what's kept me going through. I've had very small injuries in the past, nothing that's really put me out, and I attributed that to the lifting on the off season. Well, I came to Drake as a freshman linebacker. I wanted to start at inside, but we're a little short at the outside linebacker position. And Coach Jones, who was the outside linebacker coach at the time, pretty much took me under his wing and had a lot of confidence in me. And we had a couple seniors come into that position, as a new position to them as well. And it was mostly a learning process for all of us. Eventually, midway through that year, I made a decision to switch to nose guard because it was a position that I felt that I could be better at that point. I wanted to just get down and play hard-nosed football, pretty much is what I was used to coming out of high school. I was kind of a rough player. So nose guard worked out pretty well. By my sophomore year, I was able to move into the number 2 spot. Got some playing time sophomore year. Was on special teams, which I really enjoyed doing. I really like kickoff a lot. Fly down, knock some people over. Good time. Junior year was probably the biggest transitional year for me. Coach Looney, who was a linebacker coach inside, was tossing around the idea that I was going to play inside next year for him, and I never took him seriously. I wasn't sure if that's what he wanted to do. For sure, I thought he was joking, and the day of camp he told me that I was going to be inside, and it was just right from there. I had to learn the position in 1 2-day session, and I took the challenge. I really liked inside linebacker. I played that in high school, but I had a lot to learn. And the first few games, I was going back and forth with Todd DeMoss and John Elkin, trying to find the person who would fit best with the defense. And I was able to nose my way in there and play the majority of the games. And I think I had a pretty good year last year, considering the burden of learning the position in a very short time. I entered as an English major in the program, and that was my strongest subject coming out of high school. I liked it a lot. Very interested in literature and stuff. Then I took a couple of psychology courses because I was also interested in that, and I made the decision about the second semester freshman year that I'd be a psychology major because I was very intrigued by the subject, and as most freshmen are, but I really had a feel for it, and it was something that that I really focused on as a potential career. And being a senior right now, I plan on going to graduate school to get my master's degree in psychology, and that's something that I started making that decision last year. I wasn't sure last year if I was going to go to graduate school or not, but I've already completed my requirements for my degree right now for my BS in psychology, and definitely a master's in that field is almost essential for a career in therapy.
Hi, this is Tom Baldwin, owner of Home
Show. Certainly before we talk about this week's opponent for the Drake Bulldogs, we need to remind you about our Hopkins Sporting Good contest. You can see the things you need to do up on the screen. Don't forget to send it in this week to the Rob A. Show, Drake University Fieldhouse, Des Moines, Iowa, 50311. Coach, let's get at it. Bulldogs back home to the doghouse. Just exactly where you like to be to pick up another W this week.
Well, I hope so, Mick. We've won 4 straight. We're undefeated at home, and our guys are very motivated to try to finish the season undefeated in the doghouse.
Olivet Nazarene is the opponent this week. On paper, I thought maybe this team would be a little bit better coming in record-wise. They had a good season last year. This year, are they struggling at all?
They are, on the record, but they're impressive on paper and on tape. When we look at them, we're very surprised that they haven't won more games than they have up to this point. It's a situation where they have all the ingredients to have a great football team. Great rushing attack, solid defense, they're well coached. They just hope they don't put it together this week.
Last couple of weeks you've had to stop the pass, had a couple of great ends to face up with. This week you got a couple of good backs that are coming in here you got to stop.
Olivet Nazarene has a running back attack that's just awesome. They've got a fullback by the name of Ray Caldwell, who's 250 pounds, and a tailback named JoJo Jones, who's a little scat back with great speed. And these two guys are number 2 and number 4 in the nation in NAIA in rushing. 2 of the top 4 in the country, and they're very tough to stop.
Certainly the Drake Bulldogs have said the last couple of weeks they match up well against the pass. Does Drake defense match up better on a running team or a passing team?
Well, we pride ourselves on being able to stop the run. That's how we start our preseason. That's been our philosophy and so forth. But we've probably got better paper success, you know, when you look at statistics as far as stopping the passing game. So this is a game where we've got to just shore it up. We've got to be tough inside, and we've got to stop the run.
Certainly on paper the last couple of weeks, the Bulldogs have been able to light up the scoreboard. Are you playing as good a football as you have all year right now?
I think as a whole team we are. You know, everything has fallen together. Our offense is clicking, run and pass both right now, and the defense has had 2 great performances in a row. At the same time, you know, the teams we played have been good football teams, but they're not the kind of teams like Dayton and Augustana and some of the ones we played earlier. Olivet's a good, strong team, and they do some different things, and should be a new challenge for us.
Final home game for some of your seniors?
That's right, and that's a big point for our seniors. They really enjoy playing in Drake Stadium. That's one of the reasons they come to Drake in the first place, and I think it's going to be a very emotional game for those seniors.
One point I wanted to bring up, the Bulldogs ought to be well rested. The first teamers have only played a little bit of maybe a game in the last couple of games.
That's okay, though. We needed that. After the tough start that we had in our season, we were pretty banged up through the middle there. In fact, we were probably at our lowest point against Dayton when we needed to be at our strongest point. Now we've got some people healthy. We've got people coming off the injury list. 2 straight games with a lot of rest and no injuries coming out of those games. I feel pretty good about the health of our team.
Over 50 points in each of the games, the last 2 ball games. Will we see that this week?
I think our offense is very explosive. We're capable of a lot of points, but the reason we've gotten high point totals the last 2 weeks has been because of our defense. They've gotten us the ball in great field position. They've stopped drives quickly, and, you know, the passing games haven't taken very long. I think with a running team like we're going to play, it would be very difficult to score 50 points because we won't see the ball as often, and there'll be more time going off the clock when they have it.
Bulldogs still on track for that best record in Division III for Drake.
That's really something our team wants. They want to end up 7-2-1, which would give them the best record in the history of our Division III program, and that's very motivating for us right now. I hope we can keep on track for that.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, man.
We'll see you back here next week on The Rob A. Show.